just after 8 last night. No one was injured at the property, but the damage bill is $350,000. Fire investigators are heading to the scene. Hundreds of extra boots are on the ground in Queensland, ready to assist those impacted by a Category 5 storm. Andrea Crowther reports.
Even before Cyclone Narelle makes landfall, a major emergency response is underway in far north Queensland. Dozens of extra paramedics have been deployed, along with fire and rescue teams, including swift water crews now on the ground with vessels ready. SES crews are in position, the Defence Force is on standby, and Marine Rescue Queensland is preparing to deploy from Cairns. Authorities are also bracing for significant power outages. Ergon Energy has around 200 workers pre-positioned with generators, barges and helicopters, but residents have been told to expect lengthy delays to restoration.
US intelligence officials are being grilled about the level of threat posed by Iran before the United States and Israel launched strikes earlier this month. President Donald Trump has again spruiked the success of the military campaign and reiterated there are no plans to deploy ground troops to the region. Speaking with the Japanese Prime Minister in the Oval Office, he's been asked why allies weren't given more of a heads up.
I don't want to signal too much. When we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
Now turning to FIVEAA sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Good morning, Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Jess. Let's start with football. Hawthorn has had a 17-point win over Sydney at the MCG. Hawks veteran Jack Gunston, again impressive, booting 4 goals. Hawks coach Sam Mitchell says it was a well-earned win.
I could be more proud of the effort they put in. Anyone who was at the game, there was an intensity about the whole game, right to the last 5 seconds. My son actually texted me and he said I wasn't sure we'd won until 8 seconds to go, and it felt like that in the game.
Yeah, it did. It was a great match. The Crows, meantime, have made one change for tonight's blockbuster clash against the Bulldogs at home. Toby Murray has been managed, making way for Isaac Rankin, who returns from suspension. The Power have named only a squad for their match against Essendon on Sunday. Ollie Lord, though, has been dropped. To soccer, Adelaide United will take on the Western Sydney Wanderers tonight in the A-League. Meantime, in overseas action, Nottingham Forest has put in a great effort against FC Midtjylland in their Europa League knockout tie.
Left-footed hit is brilliant. Ryan Yates drives Nottingham Forest in front.
Audio there thanks to Stan Sport, but Midtjylland has since scored a goal themselves. It's now 2-2 on aggregate and it's approaching full time, meaning it could go to extra time. At the Miami Tennis Open, James Duckworth went down in straight sets to Spain's Roberto Bautista Agut, and that was in their opening round clash. But it was much better news for fellow Aussie Talia Gibson, who dropped only one game in her first up win against Czech Sara Belchek. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Mostly sunny and 27 today, sunny and 27 tomorrow, 29 for Sunday, sunny and 30 for Monday. Right now it's 17 degrees on FIVEAA, always Adelaide.
Planning an egg hunt this Easter? With Woolies Delivery, we'll take care of the shopping so you can focus on your little bunnies. All your Easter treats and family favourites delivered same day. Order by 1 p.m. Exclusions and T's and C's apply.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kiesa leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas. They design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kiesa. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger, more active and healthier life. Kiesa, building strength with precision in Norwood and Glenelg.
Ever had the feeling you're being watched online? Scammers are always looking for new ways to con you. They're criminals and they're clever. But Australian banks have joined forces in the war against them. Intelligence sharing between banks will identify new types of scams faster. A new payment system to ensure you pay the right person is being rolled out. Unique identity checks will defend against identity theft. And there'll be more double checks when you're paying someone new. Australian banks are working to protect you.
Experience the very best of over 50s living at Northern Community Residential Village in Penfield. Set in a serene and peaceful setting, Northern Community Residential Village offers a low-maintenance lifestyle amongst a welcoming community of like-minded people. A new release of stunning homes is now selling from just $450,000. Book a tour of the display home today and picture how bright your future could be. Visit ncrv.com.au for more information.
Fair to say most of us have a garage, shed or a spare room that's just where we put stuff, but somehow it's turned into a messy pile of half-finished DIY shelving in plastic tubs.
Instead of heading to the hardware store, buying a shelf in a box that looks the biz and losing 3 hours of your life swearing and trying to build the damn thing, get on a Charmin shelf. I actually put one of those things together years ago, one of those ready-made, cheap as, like, super cheap, assemble yourself shelves, and almost needed counselling afterwards. The screws were so small. Not to say with Charmin shelving, it's beautifully designed, beautifully made, always a smart move.
A bill of the team, they'll come out, they'll measure it all up, they'll design it properly, then they deliver and install a custom storage solution that fits your space perfectly. It'll look schmick and it will last for years.
Just knowing where something is and being able to access it is a game changer. Do it once, do it properly. Everyone needs a little Charmin in their life. Take a look on Facebook, Instagram, or visit charminshelving.com.au.
There are many reasons why Steinborner Automotive is well worth a trip, with over 400 cars in stock across 10 yards in Gawler, Barossa and Clare, including Steinborner Hyundai in Uriutpa, with a great selection of the best value new demo and low kilometre Tucson, Santa Fe, i30 and Kona. Along with outstanding service from our award-winning staff, you know it's well worth a trip to Steinborner Hyundai. View our whole range of Hyundai at steinborner.com.au.
Come and join the team on 5AA.
If people in South Australia want change, they want a better future, they want to grow our economy, then they need to vote Labor tomorrow.
Good morning. First time caller, long time listener.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
10 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Friday on 5AA Breakfast, the 20th of March. It is election eve. It's the last opportunity for our prospective state leaders to have their say. They're going to do that this morning on 5AA Breakfast. The incumbent, Peter Malinauskas, after 7:30. The aspirant, Ashton Hearn, after 7 o'clock today. You'll hear their final word on 5AA Breakfast a little bit later in the morning. Also coming up this weekend, footy at Adelaide Oval, finally. 2 games belatedly in the AFL season. We're going to be chatting with the CEO of the Adelaide Oval, Nick Addison. We're going to cross to Cooktown in Queensland very shortly to talk about the arrival of Cyclone Narelle in the next couple of hours, which is set to be a Category 5 cyclone, the best named cyclone that we've had in a while, I think. I give a big 2 thumbs up for Narelle. Then coming up a little bit later in the morning, Feedback Friday. We'll count down our top 5 moments of the week, and we have a nearest to the pin that is now, David Penberthy, a bit of a Friday staple. We've had a lot of fun playing nearest to the pin after 8 o'clock. We've got one for you that will help you follow along on our election coverage Saturday night. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Here we are, the last day of the campaign, and I got to say, I'm pretty happy that we've reached this point. Are you, Will?
Yeah.
Can you imagine having to spend another week covering this?
Nope.
I feel like we've really covered off all the bases. There's nothing left to be said that hasn't already been said. We will, of course, though, have the traditional final words, the famous last words, for either the Premier or the opposition leader today. Well, I think whatever happens, Ashton Hearn, well, let's say whatever happens, after the Liberals lose, Ashton Hearn's still going to be the leader.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, no, hang on, I can't say without a doubt.
People.
I actually think she's done a really good job.
So do I.
But the long and less than proud history of the South Australian Liberal Party isn't always that doing a good job gets you job security. So
no,
but she's done. In fact, to that point, your news poll that came out last night, I actually think, look at a glance, it is devastating to the Liberal Party, but actually tells a different story. It's something that you said right at the start of the. In fact, when Ashton Hearn became the leader, because you look at it on primary votes now, Labor have lost 4 according to this. They're down to 40. It's still, I mean. It's laughable. It's laughable. One Nation have lost a couple to 22. The Libs picked up 2 to 16. So that's an improvement. If you look at preferred premier, Ashton's up 3. The premier's down 3. She's gaining approval. Malinowskis is losing it. Like, these are all incremental kinds of green shoots that you'd say, we made the right change in changing the leader. You just needed another 18 months.
Yeah, totally.
Not 24 hours, as it turns out.
Yes.
But you think that's fair, isn't it? There's signs of progress here.
For sure.
It's just... It's far too little too late.
The fact that her approval rating is way in front of her disapproval rating, what is it, 43 to 33, something like that? Like they're actually
43 to 35.
They're actually positive signs, but she's potentially going to have a. I tell you what, I'm feeling much less confident about my prediction after reading news poll because I thought what's good for the goose, me being the goose, is good for the gander. You and the ganders. You and Matt Abraham being the ganders. What is a gander?
A male goose, isn't it?
Is it? A goose and a gander. A male goose. Is it a male goose?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a male goose. Good, we'll clear that up. So I did my prediction before I saw the news poll. I didn't see the news poll until 2 p.m. yesterday. And I was reading it going, I think that's my prediction stuffed because I've got the Libs holding 9 seats.
Would you like to take a mulligan?
No, you can't. It's not like, if, as Sher said, if I could turn back time. But there's still a chance, though, that the Libs, weirdly, the Liberals could hold on to regional seats thanks to preferences from the Labor Party.
Yeah.
Because there's seats.
If Labor don't finish in the top 2... Yeah, they will go to the Liberals, you'd imagine, unless it's one of those independent contests. But if it's a Lib One Nation contest,
so say Sam Telfer gets 22% of the vote, and the One Nation person gets 23% of the vote, and Labor gets 18% of the vote,
he wins.
Yeah, thanks to the Labor Party, which only goes to underscore Corey Bernardi's point about the uni party. The uni party. I went to a few uni parties.
Should we give away a meat tray this morning?
Let's do it.
All thanks to Najobi. Fitting meat tray because they're provided, I don't know, at 10,000 democracy sausages. How many thousands upon thousands of democracy sausages?
I think the figure you're looking for there, Mill, is 1 million.
1 million democracy sausages.
We gave away 1 million.
Why not?
1 million democracy sausages.
They've also given away the meat tray this morning. We're asking you, we've seen all the evidence now. We've seen everyone's cards. We've seen what they've got to offer. We've heard all the arguments. It's election eve. We want you, given now the benefit of what is effectively hindsight, to tell us what you think each political party's slogan should be. Because now we know. There's no more hiding. There's no secret policies. Everything's out on the table. So what should the slogan of each party be? You have to come up with all of them, obviously. Just you've got a slogan for a party in this election campaign. You'll be in the running to win the meat tray this morning, thanks to the wonderful people at Najobi.
Can it be your own slogan too, if you're running for Parliament?
Oh, if you like.
I don't know. Just got the thinking. Can I just jump in? Did Trump really say that to the Japanese Prime Minister? We'll get the audio and play it later.
Yeah, we can get you some audio. He had what some people are calling the peak of the Trump moment. You know how for people that would get up early, they would have seen some of these press conferences on the news where he has the leader of another country in the Oval no, it's not the Oval Office, is it? It's the one with the fireplace, or is that the Oval Office? It is the Oval Office.
Yeah.
He has them in the Oval Office, and that's where the confrontation with Zelensky happened. It's where sometimes he showed people videos of things going wrong in their country. Sort of
Was it Joseph Zuma, the South African president?
It was Joseph Zuma. It was about the persecution of
white farmers.
White farmers, and he wanted to show him a little bit of a documentary that he'd knocked up. Well, this one has been considered the peak of the Trump moments, and it has to do with, let's just say the words, Japanese Prime Minister and Pearl Harbor. We'll play it for you in just a moment, but we'll take a break first. If you've got an election slogan for us heading into Election Day, 8223 0000 is the number. You can text us on 0448 08 1395.
This state election, it's a voting centres open all week thing. Saturday, March 14 to 21. And you can vote until 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21. Voting, it's a good thing. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner, Adelaide, South Australia.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Go Harvey Norman bedding floor stock clearance on now. Huge range of selected mattresses and adjustable bases priced to clear, including big brands Sealy Posturepedic, King Coil by AH Beard, Sleepmaker, Beauty Rest and Temper. Prices slashed on beds, bedroom furniture, kids furniture and bunks. Plus, pillows, quilt covers, cushions and throws, all priced to clear. Don't miss more huge floor stock savings in store while stocks last. Best brands, best range, best prices. Harvey Norman bedding floor stock clearance on now. Conditions apply.
Hey, it's Lauren here from Adelaide, and if you're like me and you love a good bargain from your local chemist, check out Star Discount Chemist. They're all about great value and helping your family stay healthy. Go in store or online for click and collect and delivery. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help?
If your lawn's looking thin, patchy, or just plain tired, well, let's be honest, grabbing whatever's on special at the hardware store probably isn't going to fix it. There is, though, a better way.
This stuff's great. Lawn Hub's Lawn Care Essentials packets made properly. You get 5 pro-grade lawn treatments, the same sort of thing they use on stunning world-class golf courses, just packaged for home lawns like yours and mine.
And here's what everyone loves. It comes with an easy-to-follow application calendar. It literally tells you what to use and when. 4 simple steps. Lawn Hub is South Australian owned, and these products, they're locally developed, and so that means they're made for Aussie conditions. It's not mass-produced stuff from overseas.
No, that's right. Right now, every single order placed in March puts you in the draw to win an Allet cylinder mower worth nearly $5,000, more than I paid for my High Ace. Your order is your entry. Order direct online now at lawnhub.com.au. T's and C's apply.
There's fast, and then there's nitro. This March, the ground will shake, the flames will rise as the fastest machines on the planet go all out at Riverbend Nationals. 2 days, full nitro, full send. See top fuel nitro funny cars, top door slammers, plus free family entertainment and non-stop action on and off the track. Dragway at the Bend, March 28 and 29. Don't just see it, feel it. Get your tickets now at thebend.com.au.
I've found Homemade takes the stress out of managing home care services, so you get the support you need your way. They're friendly, knowledgeable, and here to help, so you don't have to figure out aged care on your own.
Hi, how may I help?
And with their lower rates, they make quality care affordable, which is why they're Australia's best value home care. Homemade. Smarter support at home. Search Homemade support today.
On Booking.com, it's easy to book your holiday home. And thanks to no hidden fees, there's no more.
Guys, found an apartment. Wait. Added fees?
We don't do sneaky added fees, so you can go from home to holiday home with no dramas.
And relax.
On Booking.com, finding a holiday home's easy. Booking.com, booking.yeah.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
21 after 6, got a couple of texts even before we came on this morning about Donald Trump and what he said in the Oval Office early this morning. Had Takaichi Sane, the Prime Minister, the new Prime Minister of Japan, in the Oval Office and had this Q&A moment with a member of the Japanese press.
One thing you don't want to signal too much, when we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? He's asking me, now you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us.
Oh, I didn't. The air came out of the room. It was a bit like when the uncle makes an off-colour joke at the wedding and everyone goes, oh dear.
You could hear a pin drop, couldn't you? Like, that is the literal demonstration of the cliche, you could hear a pin drop, but you could hear a pin drop.
It's the real-world example of, I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
Oh, it is.
That's why.
He did mention the war.
I mentioned the war joke.
You started it. No, I didn't. You invaded Poland.
It literally happened in a genuine interaction between world leaders and, ostensibly allies.
Okay, maybe I'm in the wrong here, and I know some of our listeners who really can't stand Trump. Good old Terry. Good morning, Terry. He says you could run a clip of Trump's dopey comments every day if you chose to. I actually think that's kind of hilarious.
Oh, no, there's two things that can be true concurrently. Trump's a very funny guy. Two, he has the global economy teetering on the brink of collapse at the moment.
Yeah, yes.
Those are both, I think, facts.
But I think it's extraordinarily funny comments.
It's just extraordinary. All right, we'll get to Meat Vote Tray Friday entries in just a moment. There's a serious story unfolding to our north over the course of today and this morning. Cyclone Narelle, which yesterday was upgraded to a Category 5 system, will hit Queensland's north coast. Jade Richards is in Cooktown for 7 News this morning. Jade, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're good, thank you, Jade. How's it going up there? Are you going to have to batten down the hatches?
Well, to be honest, I'm quite relieved about what I've woken up to this morning. It might sound a little bit windy, but compared to what we were seeing last night, it is a little bit better this morning. Last night there was up to 70-kilometre-an-hour winds here, but it does seem to have eased, and now our biggest threat here is just the rain. They've actually cancelled the warning zone for our area, Cape Flattery, so we're not really in the direct firing line, but unfortunately that's not the story for some really remote communities north of us. So Tropical Cyclone Narelle is still just heading straight towards the far north Queensland coast, and it's expected to make landfall probably in the next hour or 2 hours. It's just weakened to a Category 4 system earlier this morning. So yesterday it had this really distinct, significant eye in the centre of it that the Bureau of Meteorology was really concerned about, and that seems to have closed off overnight, which is why it's weakened to that Category 4 system. But it's still an extremely destructive system. The main town that's in its path is called Cohen, and it's got about 400 people who live there. They've been provided with one cyclone shelter for those people who feel like their homes aren't safe enough to stay in for such a destructive storm. But I've spoken to a local there this morning, and they're saying that it is overwhelmed. It looks like a lot of residents have tried to cram into this shelter, and they shared some images with me of them arriving with mattresses and pillows, little children, some elderly people. So we're really feeling for them at the moment, and these next couple of hours are really testing.
Yeah, well, hopefully everyone gets through it okay, Jade. Thank you for taking time out to report for us here in Adelaide. Jade Richards there for 7 News in Cooktown.
So we'll monitor that one over the next couple of hours. We're also going to give away a meat tray in the next couple of hours. Shane in Birkenhead's called in. Shane, have you got a political slogan for us?
Yeah, g'day, guys. It's a bit of a strange one, but I think it'd garner a lot of votes for me. I'm pretty strong, on spelling words properly, because people spell these days, it's terrible, when they text and all that. So my political slogan would be, dyslexics of the world, untie.
Oh, that's great, Shane. Good on you, mate. All right, let's go to Morphett Vale. Ian, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, guys?
Good, thanks, Ian.
Yes, this is one for the Liberals. Give us the only chance to reduce ramping. We have a plan.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked before, hasn't it? I mean, it's not quite as definitive as we will fix ramping.
They can't put the posters up anymore. That's part of the problem.
That's right. Can you use a skywriter?
I think you can, yeah.
Well, that's been...
I don't think that was banned.
Well, the skywriter kind of went out of fashion after the 90s, didn't it? Remember they were sort of Grand Prix time? The whole sky was full of stuff.
I know, it was crazy, wasn't it?
Rob in Summerton Park, good morning.
Yeah, morning, guys. I've got one here. It's welcome to our country, one nation. Big Mal is not our pal. Give Albo the elbow.
That's good, Rob.
Good, Rob. That might work. They could do worse than employing Rob.
The major parties should have tapped into this earlier. Could have crowdsourced their slogans for
the way of the future. 17.8 degrees outside at the moment, heading for a top today of 27 degrees. The weekend, 27 tomorrow and sunny, 29 and sunny on Sunday. Beautiful days ahead. 30 Monday, 30 Tuesday, 27 Wednesday, and then cooling off a little bit, 23 on Thursday. We might see a little drizzle around on Wednesday and Thursday as well. But for the footy tonight, it's going to be pretty perfect conditions. Tom Wren's going to be there. Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au. Morning, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be huge, isn't it? And hopefully, hopefully we get a game similar to what we did last night. That was a cracker to get things underway for round two. Sort of feels like we're getting into the season a bit more now. And you're right. What a game tonight. Isaac Rankin is in. We knew that was going to happen. Toby Murray, they're saying managed. Interesting. So he will not play. I think.
I don't believe it.
Well, he trained pretty strongly.
What does managed mean? Does managed mean you've got a physical problem or they're worried about your form?
I think generally it means you're a bit sore.
Okay.
And, but I think he's played one game. I don't think that he trained pretty much full tilt. I think they can't fit him in.
I got told during the week that the original plan was he was definitely playing this week if he was fit. Maybe that changed. Maybe they had a rethink. But I got some info earlier in the week that said it's going to be one of the midfield group that drops out for Rankin to come back in.
What? Do you reckon they're playing Ducks and Drakes? Or?
No. I don't think they are. I think it's changed because they've officially named the team now.
Okay.
And he could, and that he might be legitimately sore, but interestingly not. He has that back issue, which they've alluded to. So, regardless, huge game. I mean, if they can get a win there, 2-0, when I think most fans were looking at that and thinking, if they could maybe get one, but if they could be
the first four,
that's right. But
because the next 2 weeks are Freo in the West and Geelong in Geelong, aren't they?
Yes. Geelong's away. Yep, that's right. Thursday night.
What's your view on the look of footy so far this year, Rennie? The change in the rules because the ball just slingshots around, doesn't it?
It does. It does feel like forwards are going to have a bit more of a chance this season to kick bigger bags, which I like. It does feel like it's good. And last night's game, I just touched on it, I thought was a really good game of footy. Felt like a final last night in round two. Probably the highest intensity game, well, just about. Brisbane Bulldogs was a ripper as well. But, yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. I think it's been a good watch. Port just a squad at this stage because they only play on Saturday. Lukosius is in. He needs a good run at it now. He needs to just play, hopefully 10, 12 games in a row.
He never really got his rhythm
last year
because of injury.
And they gave up a bit for him, so I hope he gets a good crack at it. Jordan Sweet also in. They just need to win. They really just need to win. You think so. Essendon are pretty horrible, but that Port were pretty ordinary last week too. So bit of pressure on them early on for Josh Carr. Look, he's got to get a pass mark throughout the year because it's his first year. But I think for the fans and for a bit of harmony amongst the club, they need to have a decent win on Sunday.
Yeah, good on you, Rennie.
Good on you, boys.
On you, Tom.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Just one more day until South Australians go to the polls. An Advertiser YouGov poll shows Labor heading for a landslide win. Premier Peter Malinauskas says it's a clear choice, with South Australia boasting the lowest unemployment rate of any state in the nation and the nation's fastest growing economy. SA's seasonally adjusted jobless rate for February was 4%, compared with a national average of 4.3%. Residents are bracing for Cyclone Narelle to make landfall in Queensland's far north this morning. Pat Hegning reports.
Residents in far north Queensland are bracing for impact as tropical cyclone Narelle bears down on the coast. The Category 5 system has just been downgraded and is expected to cross as a Category 4 in just the next few hours. An emergency alert has been sent to communities in the firing line, telling them to find the strongest part of the building they are in and to take shelter now. Winds in excess of 285 kilometres per hour are expected at its centre, with hundreds of millimetres of rain also forecast for the next 24 hours. It will be a tense wait to see what the sunlight brings.
There are growing concerns about the future of David Jones department stores in Australia. The 188-year-old company hasn't released its financial report for 2025, which was due in October. It hasn't detailed why the report wasn't released in a statement, but says there have been problems paying suppliers. The Albanese government has announced the former head of the energy regulator will steer Australia's efforts to secure fuel as the Iran conflict continues. Anthea Harris was named after a national cabinet meeting with state and territory leaders. Former ACCC head Alan Fells says petrol stations could be under scrutiny from higher up.
Who can be influenced by their big fuel company suppliers. For example, they put up prices well in advance of experiencing actual cost increases. Normally, they wait for 7 or 8 days between when the world price goes up and the cost feeds through.
The US Defence Secretary claims the world and its ungrateful European allies should be thanking Donald Trump for launching its war against Iran. The Trump administration is now seeking $200 million in funding from Congress to fund the military campaign, which has escalated to attacks on key energy infrastructure. Pete Hegseth says the operation isn't to fight for nation building, but to crush direct threats to their interests.
We're winning decisively and on our terms. Iran is a vast country, and just like Hamas and their tunnels, they've poured any aid, any economic development, humanitarian aid into tunnels and rockets.
American actor Chuck Norris has been taken to hospital in Hawaii. The 86-year-old's experienced a health emergency but is reportedly in good spirits. New research has found libraries are good for well-being. Of 6,000 people surveyed, 60% believe libraries are a place of belonging that helps support mental health. Chief Librarian Caroline Butler-Bowden says a library is a special place.
There's so much on offer online, but nothing beats crossing that threshold of a library. It's the service of librarians. It's the comfortable places to sit. You know, libraries are also places of awe. They're very uplifting.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom.
Thank you, Jess. Hawthorners held on for a hard-fought win over Sydney at the MCG overnight. Eddie Summerfield was there.
It was a frantic start with 11 goals booted in the first quarter. Hawthorn wrestling momentum in the second as the goals dried up for Sydney and Charlie Curnow. Hawks defender Tom Barras keeping the ex-Blue to just one disposal in the second half. Jack Gunston getting better with age, booting 4 goals in front of more than 47,000 fans. The Hawks inaccurate, but finished stronger than the Swans for a 17-point win, 14-15-99 to 13-4-82.
Well, meantime, the Crows and Port Adelaide have named sides for their respective matches on the weekend. Adelaide has made one change with Isaac Rankin coming in for Toby Murray, who's been managed for tonight's match against the Bulldogs. And the Power have named only a squad with their match against Essendon not being played until Sunday. Jack Lukosius looks like he'll play his first match of the year, while Jordan Butts is also in the squad of 26. To soccer, Nottingham Forest is currently in extra time in its knockout Europa League tie against FC Midtjylland. Forest won the match 2-1, but it was a 2-2 on aggregate after the first match ended in a 1-0 loss for Forest. There's about 10 minutes to play with the tie seemingly heading to penalties. And in the NRL overnight, the Canterbury Bulldogs have recorded a 14-10-point win against the Canberra Raiders. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Mostly sunny and 27 today, sunny and 27 tomorrow, 29 for Sunday, sunny and 30 for Monday. Right now, it's 18 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Thank you, South Australia. Once again, the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery has sold out early. And that's because every ticket funds life-changing medical research to support better care and better outcomes for South Australians, like you and your family. All remaining prizes, including the $4 million grand prize, will be drawn Thursday, April 2nd. Miss out this time? Become a member today to never miss out again. homelottery.com.au. Licence M14894.
City Discount Tires. Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. Grab 3 Falcon Zig ZE 310R passenger car tyres and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttires.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
There are many reasons why Steinborner Automotive is well worth a trip, with over 400 cars in stock across 10 yards in Gawler, Barossa and Clare, including Steinborner Mitsubishi and Yuri Utpa, with a great selection of the best value new demo and low kilometre Triton, Pajero, Sport, ASX and Outlander. Along with outstanding service from our award-winning staff, you know it's well worth a trip to Steinborner Mitsubishi. View our whole range of Mitsubishi at steinborner.com.au.
If you're planning an interstate holiday, tackling big DIY projects or moving, having the right set of wheels makes all the difference. And that's where Red Spot Car Rentals comes in. Red Spots are the local guys with the perfect ride, whatever you want to do and wherever you want to go.
They've got a huge fleet of new vehicles, from small cars to trucks and utes, and they've just been awarded Product Review's Car Rental Service of the Year for 2026.
You'll find them in airport terminals and cities all over Australia, and right now they're giving you spot-on savings of 15% off every vehicle at every location. T's and C's apply.
So the next time you need a rental, you can rely on Red Spot. Book direct and save 15% now at redspot.com.au/radio, or call 1300 66 88 10 and quote radio.
South Australia, it's time to gather round. The 2026 AFL Gather Round. A festival of footy returns to our backyard from Thursday, April 9 to Sunday, April 12. Gather your mates and gather your family for a massive week of footy, food and festival fun. From Adelaide Oval right through to the Barossa, get in on it. Tickets on sale now. Tickets and more info at gatherround.afl.
For seafood that looks and tastes like it came out of the ocean this morning, go to McGill's Fresh Seafood, because chances are it did. Find McGill's Fresh Seafood at the top of McGill Road in the McGill Village Shopping Centre. Owner Andy is originally from Port Lincoln, with over 40 years of experience in the fishing and seafood retail industry. Fresh seafood bought daily from local suppliers, sourcing Australia-wide, then processed on site. Expect the best at McGill's Fresh Seafood. Bought today, sold today.
This state election, it's a voting centres open all week thing. Saturday, March 14 to 21. And you can vote until 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21. Voting, it's a good thing. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner, Adelaide, South Australia.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 to 7. Let's check in with the Weather Bureau about what's ahead for the footy tonight and indeed the weekend ahead. Simon Timke is on duty this morning. Simon, what's coming up over the next 3 days?
Morning, Will. Well, I think plenty of sunshine is probably the summary, but still quite a humid air mass over us, so it might feel a little bit sticky at times. But yeah, plenty of sunshine. Looking at the satellite picture at the moment, we do have a little bit of patchy cloud moving across, but I think sort of late morning and into the afternoon, we'll probably see that break up a bit and have a mostly sunny afternoon. Looks like there's a little bit of low cloud about the eastern slopes of the Mount Lofty ranges too, but not expecting any rainfall out of any of that cloud that I mentioned there. Temperature-wise, we had an overnight minimum of 16.7 degrees just after 5 a.m. Currently in the city sitting on 17.8 degrees and expecting a maximum today of 27 degrees. Around the suburbs, 26 degrees for Mount Barker and Noarlunga, 25 for Glenelg and 28 degrees for Elizabeth. More sunshine over the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday expected to be sunny days. Still a little bit humid like today. The wind's generally southwesterly with a bit of sea breeze each afternoon. For Saturday's temperatures, 16 for the minimum, 27 degrees for the maximum, and for Sunday, a minimum of 17, maximum of 29. And those temperatures, those slightly warmer temperatures continuing into early next week. A sunny day for Monday, 30 degrees. Might be just a slight chance of a shower, possibly even a rumble of thunder later in the day on Tuesday, 30 degrees the maximum. For Wednesday and Thursday, expecting maximum temperatures 27 and mostly sunny for Wednesday, and the chance of a shower on Thursday, 23 degrees, guys.
Good stuff, Simon. Perfect democracy sausage weather tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, let's head to St. Paul. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad's on the line. Kimberly, a car has rolled over at Aldinga this morning.
Yeah, good morning. It was about 3:50, so just before 4 a.m. this morning. Police and emergency services responded to a single car rollover. It was at the intersection of Main South Road and Malpas Road at Aldinga. And when emergency services arrived, they found a Toyota Land Cruiser had rolled after colliding with a guardrail, and it ended up in a ditch by the side of the road. However, no one was found inside the car, so we've attended at a nearby address and found the alleged driver hiding in a front yard. So we've arrested a 30-year-old man from Aldinga Beach. He's been arrested for traffic offences at this stage and is currently being interviewed by police. But we're just asking anyone with information on the crash, if anyone witnessed the Toyota Land Cruiser at that intersection of Main South and Malpas Road about 4 o'clock this morning, they give us a call on the Crime Stoppers number 1800 333 000.
There used to be heaps of crashes there before that stretch of road was done up, but it's been fixed and it's great now. There's no excuses for that kind of carry on. Kimberley, also, what's the go with this house fire at Mount Mary, which is near Morgan, I believe?
Yeah, that's right. It was just after 8 o'clock last night. Police and CFS crews were called to Stockroute Road after reports of a house fire. When patrols arrived, the home and also 3 vehicles were ablaze. So CFS extinguished the blaze, but it actually reignited at about 2:45 this morning. So we've got crews still on scene, and we're getting fire calls investigators attend later this morning just to determine the cause of the fire. Again, if anyone has any information, please give us a call. Crime Stoppers 1800 333 000.
Good stuff, Kimberley. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Senior Constable Kimberley Broad from SAPOL.
Well, footy returns to Adelaide Oval tonight and then again this weekend. And what's been a weird sort of a start. Some teams in the AFL have played 3 games. Adelaide Oval has hosted none thus far. That is all about to change. CEO Nick Addison's with us in the 5AA Breakfast studio. Nick, good morning to you.
G'day, Will. Pembo, thanks for having me.
No, not at all, Nick. Thanks for coming in, mate. So what's the turnaround like for the Oval? Even thinking, I know because my wife went with one of her girlfriends, you've gone from Ed Sheeran, only last week, wasn't it?
Yep.
Into not 1 but 2 football games. It must be a bit of a logistical challenge.
Yeah, it is. So within about 16 or 17 days, we went from 54,000 people with Ed Sheeran, replaced 4,000 square metres of turf, played 2 cricket games, and we'll have 2 AFL games. So
Wow.
it's a big 16 or 17 days.
So it's all new, and obviously you've got to change the turf because of the length of the grass provisions between cricket and footy, don't you?
Yeah, so you've got all the standard maintenance transition between cricket and footy, but then we probably replaced about a third of the turf following the Ed Sheeran concert. So about a third needs to be replaced.
There'll be a couple of things people might notice that are different this year. I want to start with one as a TV guy. And I love buying TVs. The big screen, you've upgraded it. Is it going to be? Will you notice it? Will people when they look at it? Will it be obvious to them?
Yeah, we hope so. Sizing wise, no. So similar sizes to what we've had previously, but the actual quality and the crispness of the screens have been upgraded.
So all the screens, it's not just
the 3 major replay screens in the seating bowl and the 2 on the NRMA and Plaza out the front. So they've all been upgraded. We've also upgraded turnstiles as well.
I was going to ask you about that. So will that change at all in terms of how people interact with them?
Look, not in terms of what punters need to do to access the stadium, but we hope it helps them get in quicker. That's what it's designed to do, because really at the end of the day, we compete with the couch. So that's what we've got to try and do, to make it better and easier for people to get into the stadium.
How old is the new oval now? Is it 10 years old yet? We're coming up to it.
It's about 12.
So it's more than 10.
Yeah, just a bit over.
It's gone fast.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
I remember the very first game that I went to. In fact, it was a showdown, wasn't it? The first game, and Port won.
I think it was.
Port beat the Crows in that first showdown.
That's right. Yeah, Port had played a couple of games the previous year.
Yeah.
Well, they played 1 game there against Melbourne, I remember. But yeah, in terms of actually as a regular AFL venue, it's been a wonderful success.
Huge.
What's on your wish list then? So when you're ticking off things like, screen upgrades and turnstiles and so forth, is there something on there that you think, gee, I'd like to get to that sometime in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, it's always the fan experience. And this is the challenge that, particularly when you look at, so you talk about its age, 12 years since the redevelopment. We're going to have a new multi-billion-dollar stadium in Brisbane for the Olympics. We're going to have a billion-dollar stadium in Tassie. Optus Stadium's already, newer than Adelaide Oval. So we're probably, for the bulk of that 12 years, Adelaide Oval has been newer in Australia. We're going to have a few stadiums go past us. So in terms of the wish list, there's a lot on it, and we've got to continue to reinvest to make it world-class.
But isn't the challenge with the Adelaide Oval that it's unlike all of those other stadiums that you're talking about? It's half the experience, but it's half the heritage. And I guess that was the sort of the elegant compromise around the upgrade was it's not going to lose It's not going to completely lose its old world charm. I mean, you got to watch. In my view, you got to watch people like Will Goodings.
Sorry, what?
More than a couple of times, Will has said on air that what it needs, you got to get rid of the Moreton Bay Figs at the northern end and put in another massive stadium. That's never going to happen.
I'm a seating maximalist.
They can find a new CEO if that's the job, because this CEO will not be getting rid of those trees. We actually spend a lot of money on maintaining those trees. They're really curated and looked after. So, and if you look carefully next time you're there, we've actually got a second layer of figs coming up underneath.
Oh, really?
Because you've got to have a 100-year lens on these things, exactly because this joint is world-renowned, and we've got to make sure for the next 150 years that it's equally renowned.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Will. Bad luck.
Well,
it won't be me, Will.
No, it's clearly never going to happen.
The Will
Not that way.
Northern stand.
I'd build up elsewhere, though. Get more seats in there.
Where?
That's what we
Where
need.
would you do it?
Anywhere. Keep going up. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
we don't need sellouts. We need more people being able to turn up to footy on a Saturday because the weather's nice.
But do you think at some point there'll be a discussion about whether we need a second stadium in Adelaide? Well, that would be sort of creating a rod for your back if you did that, wouldn't you?
I think depending on the capacity, that's a credible conversation. When you look at perhaps the best sporting infrastructure in the country, and being a Victorian, Melbourne Olympic Park precinct and the MCG.
Well, with the Premier we've got, we might need it. The rate at which he bids for events.
The boldness and ambition is outstanding. And I think that's something that is setting South Australia a bit apart at the moment. And as I said, as a Victorian, I think South Australians should be really pleased with the boldness and ambition that's in the state at the moment.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing all the upgrades and getting back into Adelaide Oval. It's crazy. We've had some teams play 3 games and we've had none at Adelaide Oval yet. So bit of ground to make up and looking forward to it tonight. Good
Thanks,
on you, Nick.
Will.
Thanks for coming in.
For us. Appreciate it, guys.
No, good on you, Nick.
Thank you. A terrific night for it. Great weather, as you said, from the Bureau as well. Nick Addison, CEO, I will be.
I'm going to.
Just as a punter tonight, which is just excellent.
Not calling.
Not calling. Just getting along.
I was wrong before. Crows play FIVEAA at home, not away. Helpfully, where's the charming text? Michelle in Elizabeth Park. She said, "You're a dill, David. Adelaide play FIVEAA in Adelaide." Oh, nice. Thank you, Michelle. Have you have a nice day.
Let's all be civil, shall we?
Nothing like springing out of bed at 5 a.m. to be abused by people like Michelle. Don't know why I bother.
Can we just have a moratorium on people being mean to David? We're just
very tired.
It's pre-7 o'clock. It's starting to get a little testy. All right, let's check. Let's check traffic. So we need civility on the text line, folks.
We do.
Need to break out of. I know it's politics is making people.
Can't we all just get along?
Exactly right.
King said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's check traffic. Car battery dead. Call Batteries Direct. They'll come to you anytime with a new affordable battery installed.
Thanks, Will. And morning, David. At Salisbury, a crash Park Terrace near Commercial Road was blocking the intersection, but they've moved off the road, which is good. Ferguson, Burst, Watermain, Port Road near Phillip Street. Plus, got urgent cancer works there too, so that'll be slow again this morning. And sluggish already at Flinders Park for those works. Grange Road near Holbrooks Road. Camera, Meyer Road, Lonsdale. Celebrate 140 years of Mercedes-Benz with complimentary stamp duty in the 140-hour sales event at Mercedes-Benz Adelaide and Unley. Ends tomorrow. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Ever noticed how some of the best things in life you just can't buy at a supermarket? Like Quincy's Confectionery. Handcrafted here in Adelaide by a passionate family of qualified chocolatiers and confectioners. Chocolate-coated freeze-dried strawberries to choc-covered coffee beans, cookies and cream popcorn, dark chocolate cranberries and more. Available at quincy.com.au or Quincy's Confectionery at 31 Henry Street, Stepney. If it starts with a Q and ends with it's Quincy's.
Car battery died? Call Batteries Direct Adelaide now and we'll come to you now. Batteries Direct at direct prices. Call 1300 558 174. For affordable on-the-spot battery replacement, call Batteries Direct.
Catching up with family and friends at home is always a special time. Preparing fresh, tasty food is equally important. Make life easy with a welcome hand from your local Barnacle Bill. Less time in the kitchen means more time with family and friends. Barnacle Bill's variety of nutritious, delicious food is ready for pickup or delivery. And remember, it's Barnacle Bill for seafood and much, much more.
Experience Audi like never before, where iconic design meets cutting-edge technology and thrilling performance, all backed by 7 years of peace of mind. On now for 1 week only and finishing this Saturday, enjoy exceptional value on selected new and demonstrator A3, A5, Q5 and Q7 models. Receive 7 years complimentary scheduled servicing, 7 years roadside assistance and 7 years manufacturer's warranty. Now at Audi Hawthorne and Prospect.
Harris-Scarf Friends exclusive great brand sale is on now. Save 30% off full price Ninja and save 50% off full price Tommy Bahama. Sale ends soon, exclusions apply. See conditions online. Harris-Scarf, great brands, great prices.
We've all had that dream. The one where your teeth fall out. Nobody really knows what it means. But we do know a trip to the dentist doesn't have to feel like a nightmare. At Burnside Dental Practice, we offer sleep dentistry. You'll experience comfortable care and a calming environment designed to ease dental anxiety, whatever the procedure. Say goodbye to fear and worry. You deserve great teeth. Book your next appointment with Burnside Dental Practice in Hazelwood Park. Visit burnsideddental.com.au.
What's worse than running out of gas during the Christmas barbecue or the gas burner cutting out right as you're cooking your favourite steak?
Come on.
At Max Built Trading Co., we've been keeping barbies sizzling and meat medium rare since 1946. From refilling gas bottles to those hard-to-track-down spares for your gas burner, Max Built has quality products and reliable solutions for all situations. Visit us at Research Road, Paraka, or head to our Facebook page for more.
Paint Supplies. Good day, Gary Johansson here from Paint Supplies. Westlakes Boulevard, Hendon. You know the name, the one you can trust to look after you for all your painting needs. We've been looking after the community since 1990. Whether you're painting a church, a house, a school, hotel, car, boat, plane, machinery, whatever it is, come and see me, Gary Johansson from Paint Supplies, a name you can trust. Westlakes Boulevard, Hendon.
Paint Supplies. The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Five minutes to 7, an outpouring of support for David on the text line at the moment, on some things anyway.
I like this one. It'd be easy to be civil to you, David, if you stopped saying stupid things.
Cameron in the Brosser says, I love you, David. That's nice. Dave says, we love you and your... someone says, we love you and your sausages, Dave, that's also nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, our good mate Rob, says, if Albo was at the footy tonight with the Crows scarf on, in the language of Rowie, I'll spew up. That guy, if he was on a trip to Africa, he'd wear the Idi Amin All-Stars soccer team scarf if he thought there was a vote in it. Thank you for that, Rob. Rob's texts are just so consistently hilarious. The only problem we have with them is we get about 6 or 7 of them a day, and we can't read them all out because there's just so many, and sometimes they're a bit on the edgy side.
That's right. Do you see... Scott,
but they're always excellent.
I seem to be the patron saint of Parkland's debasement, and frankly, I'm here for it. So to all those people that have texted in, the disruptors like me, I salute you.
We're going to read it out. Mark's text. Mark from Whyalla.
Oh, okay, Mark.
Will,
I was talking about Scott as much as Mark.
Oh, yeah, Scott, of course. But no, this one, Mark from Whyalla. Boys, I'm with you, Will. Chop those trees down, waste your space and time, build a new stand. There are lots of other trees for the tree weirdos to look at. Tree weirdos. I tell you, next time we've got the Premier on the program after he romps it in tomorrow at the election, you should get into him for not cutting down enough trees for the MotoGP. 45? What? You're not even
you
trying.
Couldn't find any more?
Yeah. 45.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Darwin. Tony's on the line. Tony, you got a political slogan for us heading into Election Day?
Yeah, look, I think vote for Malley and we'll even get the soapbox rally.
The soapbox rally.
Good one, Tony.
I like it.
Had a little bit of rhyme to it.
Good.
David Alberton, good morning.
Morning, boys. Look, I don't agree with the sentiment, but I'm happy to keep the word dill alive. Always happy to keep a little bit of 70s slang going. If we can change our leader, you can too. Vote one Liberal.
Sort of works.
Excellent.
That's good, Dave. Thank you. Tina in Mitchell Park, good morning.
Good morning. So I've got Vote One Nation because we know what to do when the chips are down.
Yeah, good one.
There you go.
Good one.
Thank you, Tina.
Dave from Melbourne had another one that he texted through before. Which
Is it readable?
David Spears, it's time to draw a line in the sand. That'd work.
Did Dave want his name put to that?
I don't think so. That might be the only variation on a theme headline the Tizer didn't run in. It's incredibly thorough coverage of that story.
They certainly did. The metro this morning is thanks to the great people in Najobi. We love Najobi. It is along with them that we've been able to give a whole stack of voting places across South Australia democracy sausages. In fact, tomorrow night we might kick off our election coverage on Saturday night by getting some democracy sausage reviews from our listeners. So if you get along to a place that's got a democracy sausage, call us first cab off the rank, because there won't be enough votes counted early days to say anything definitive. So tomorrow night we'll get some reviews. But this morning you can win the meat tray, all thanks to the great people at Najobi, najobi.com.au for more information, by giving us a political slogan.
And don't forget, folks, tomorrow night, so I'm not sure what time it starts. I think it's about 6:20, 6:25. After the footy's finished, because obviously we need to get our priorities right. Football first, democracy second. But 3 hours of cracking radio. Sam Daddo done a brilliant job, Sam. He's done this handy booklet, seat by seat, in analogue form for an old fart like myself, and just sit there thumbing through it going, oh, look, Devonport, Flagstaff Hill, Aberfoyle Park, swing required, yada, yada, yada. And, of course, Pal's Liquor are jumping on board again this year, loading us up with quality vino. Big thanks to Sam and Jamie, and we'll be drinking it with gusto on the evening.
Okay, nominate, say north, south, east, west, or regional, and I'll give you a place that people can go. Just give me a broad part of Adelaide, and I'll give you a
you
democracy.
Want city or regional?
No, you just name. You just name
Athelston.
No. I'm telling you a compass direction: north, south, east, west, or regional.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's say north.
North, Stradbroke Primary School. Go again.
Stradbroke. Okay. South.
South. We've got Hackham East Primary School.
Excellent. East.
East, Nord Primary. Bang.
Yes.
Should we do west to round it out?
Let's do west.
Allenby Gardens Primary School. Riona Regional, Mount Barker, St Mark's Lutheran, or go to Nan Primary School, Goolwa Primary School. We could have played that game for the next 25 minutes of places where you can get democracy sausages. The FIVEAA breakfast democracy sausage.
In democracy sausages.
Not other lesser.
No, not those factory sweepings garbage you get.
Absolute rubbish. All right, let's take a break. Sometimes we forget that it's live on air. Let's take a break. 5AA news is up in just a moment.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Informing Adelaide for 50 years. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
It's election eve and State Treasurer Tom Koutson-Tonis says we're going to the polls with the lowest unemployment rate in the nation.
They're great numbers, but they can all be risked with a change of government. Look, there's a $2 billion blowout in the Liberal Party's costings.
The latest advertiser YouGov poll has Labor on track for a landslide win. An Aldinga Beach man has been arrested after crashing his Toyota Land Cruiser and fleeing the scene. Police were called to the intersection of Main South Road and Malpas Road at 4 this morning, where they found the rolled vehicle in a ditch. The driver wasn't with it. He was found a short time later hiding in the front yard of a nearby home. He's been charged with traffic offences, with investigations continuing. Cyclone Narelle is just hours away from making landfall, with locals already feeling the power of the storm. The system was downgraded to a Category 4 earlier this morning, with residents in the Cape York Peninsula told to take shelter. Senior forecaster Abrar Shabran says destructive winds are having an impact.
So we'll expect the very destructive core of Narelle, with gusts in excess of around 250 kilometres per hour, is now starting to impact the coast and will extend inland towards Cowan as the morning progresses.
Doctors have intensified their opposition to prescribing powers for pharmacists, releasing a long list of blunders. Gabrielle Hodson has more.
The Royal Australian College of GPs has released a dossier to healthcare watchdog Safer Care Victoria outlining 62 alleged prescribing blunders made by pharmacists. SMH The Age says in one case antibiotics were prescribed to treat a suspected urinary tract infection, which turned out to be cancer. In other cases, patients were given medication for migraines, which were in fact preeclampsia and brain tumours. The Pharmaceutical Guild says members have extra training before doing any prescribing, but doctors have also criticised a move to allow pharmacies to initiate the pill, which they fear will lead to unplanned pregnancies because it's only 92% effective.
The Federal Treasurer believes voters are ready for hard decisions which will form a central part of the May budget. Jim Chalmers has used a speech to claim the economy will struggle for the rest of the decade without major reforms. Dr Chalmers has signalled a tax reform package which would include an overhaul of business taxes. The Israeli Prime Minister says their joint US military campaign is wiping out Iranian industry in the Middle East, but claims there's still more work to do. In the latest strike, the Israeli military says it has taken out Iran's naval capabilities in the Caspian Sea. Benjamin Netanyahu says the war will take as long as necessary to destroy Iran's capability.
But what we're destroying now are the factories that produce the components to make these missiles and to make the nuclear weapons that they're trying to produce.
And Donald Trump has referenced Pearl Harbor while sitting next to the Japanese Prime Minister in the Oval Office during an update on the war.
I don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Hello again, Tom Wren.
And to you as well, Jess. We'll start with some footy. Sydney coach Dean Cox has called for patience as new recruit Charlie Curnow continues to adapt to the Swans system. The key forward had just 2 quarter goals, but was then held to 1 touch after half-time. Cox says they'll continue working with Curnow.
One thing we try and say is at all times compete as hard as you possibly can and try and read the cues up the ground when we are bringing the ball through. So there's some inconsistencies throughout that at times, and it'll be a work in progress we're gonna put time into.
The Hawks will now enjoy an 18-day break. To soccer, the Matildas will have a light run in Sydney today ahead of tomorrow night's Asian Cup final, which is being played against Japan. Adelaide United's men's side will take on the Western Sydney Wanderers this evening, the Reds hoping to collect all 3 points after 3 consecutive draws. The Reds are currently 5th on the A-League table with 5 regular season games to play. And in overseas action, Nottingham Forest is through to its first quarter-final in a European competition in 3 decades. After winning its Europa League knockout tie in a penalty shootout, Forest kept their cool, scoring all 3 of their penalties, while the home side failed to convert any of theirs.
He's missed it. He's slipped. And Nottingham Forest are into the quarter-finals of the Europa League.
Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. Fellow EPL club Aston Villa is hoping to join Forest in the final 8 of the competition. They currently lead Lille 1-0 on aggregate approaching half-time. The Adelaide 36ers will head to Sydney today ahead of tomorrow night's game 1 of their grand final series against the Kings. And Ash Gardner will become just the 7th woman to play 100 T20 internationals for Australia when she takes the field today against the West Indies. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tommy. Let's check the 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate. Experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
At Salisbury, crash to look out for Park Terrace near Commercial Road. There's Burst Water Main, Port Road near Phillip Street, plus emergent council works there too. That'll be slow today. A little bit of works to look out for at West Richmond, Marion Road near Sherlow Street, and starting to build South Road as you're driving through Tonsley. Cameras, Beaverich Road, Ingle Farm, and East Parkway at Lightsphere. Stuck in traffic? Upgrade to drive the Maserati Grecale GT MY24 demonstrator from 114,900 drive away with a 5-year warranty at your nearest Maserati dealership. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Mostly sunny and 27 today, sunny and 27 tomorrow, 29 for Sunday, sunny and 30 for Monday. Right now, it's a beautiful 18 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 minutes after 7, good morning to you. If you're joining us for the first time on this Friday, the 20th of March. The AFL season starts in South Australia today. We've got a game at Adelaide Oval tonight. Another one, of course, on Sunday as well. We just had Nick Addison in the studio a short time ago talking about some of the upgrades you'll see tonight. TV screens, turnstiles and so forth. Coming up, still to come on the program this morning, Feedback Friday after 8:30. We'll play Nearest to the Pin a little bit later. Timmy G will preview the week ahead in sport, but of course, tomorrow night, live on 5AA, our election coverage will kick off from about 6:30 and South Australians go to the polls tomorrow. So what we wanted to do on the program today was give the leaders of the two major parties here in South Australia a final chance to speak with our listeners. So if you're watching on the Facebook and YouTube live stream, you'll see we're joined in the studio by the leader of the Liberal Party in South Australia, Ashton Hearn. Ashton, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
Well, here we are, Ashton. The final day, the final countdown. You still got a smile on your face. You're still holding up all right?
Yeah, I am. And I was saying to Will, actually, that I've really enjoyed the campaign. I know it's been a bit of an unconventional one, to say the least, but to have the opportunity to get out and speak to so many people right across the state and to meet them where they are and to run a campaign that I think is genuinely focused on those bread and butter issues, I've been proud of. I've enjoyed it. So, yeah, I've still got a smile. And it's not over until it's over at all.
How do you keep soldiering on and waking up with a spring in your step when, I wrote the story yesterday about the news poll for The Australian. There was one, I think, yesterday morning or the day before YouGov poll and the Advertiser. Like, the trends have been largely identical everywhere. Do you just go, well, that's just the polling, or shunt that aside and just kind of try to keep sticking to your messages? Or because I think a lot of people would go, well, why am I doing this?
Well, you just, A, I believe in what we're doing, for one, and B, you've just got to keep chipping away. I've been honest about some of the challenges that we've faced as a party, and, in some ways kind of getting on top of those doesn't just happen overnight. It does take that consistency, and so every single day I wake up and I think, how can I get out and speak to people about our policies, and also just to have that sense of discipline to not go down this rabbit warren of being distracted about the polling either, because I do, and we've spoken about this on your program a couple of times, there are too many politicians who are navel gazers. They're interested in becoming commentators, and that's just not me. So of course I read all of your articles, Pembo, but
Lord of impeccable taste.
I read them all, and you've got to take note and listen, but you can't allow it to distract you from what you're about and what your focus is.
You released your costings yesterday, and that the biggest plank in terms of savings to pay for election promises was the decision to forego the hiring of some 4,000 public servants over the forward estimates to get to a figure of about 1.7 billion. The Labor Party is saying, well, to get to 1.7, it'd have to be more like 16,000. Is it 4,000 or is it 16,000?
No, it's 4,000. And unsurprisingly, the ALP are wrong yet again when it comes to managing the budget. This is a decision that we've taken because we do need to start to show some constraint to get on top of debt in South Australia. It is projected to hit nearly $50 billion over the forwards, and that's something that the next generation will be saddled with. So again, it's about making those tough decisions, getting back to those bread and butter basics. And we've got balanced cost. We're spending $3.4 billion. We've got some really fantastic cost of living measures, affordability measures for businesses. But importantly, we're getting the balance right. And in the longer term, we're actually seeing a reduction in the debt. And that is very different to Labor, who are adding more than $700 million to the debt in South Australia. And that's speaks to the fact that they don't really have much regard for taxpayer funds, really. They see it as their own little kitty, and they're not starting the work of eating down this debt, which I think is a big worry because, it will saddle future generations.
What would be the key issue at this election, and the thing that is making it such and it's rare for South Australia to be in this position. Normally we have elections and nobody in the eastern states even notices, but mentioning the Oz before, they can't get enough of the coverage because they see it as a bellwether of the sort of political phenomenon we've seen in Britain with reform, in Western Europe and so forth. The key change is former Liberal voters now looking at voting for One Nation. On the day before the election, Ashton Hearn, what would be your message to those people?
That I can appreciate that there are people right across Australia, the world, but particularly in South Australia who do feel ignored. They feel ignored because they're opening their power bills and they can't afford to pay them, and they are working their guts out and they can't get ahead. And it's only the Liberal Party who actually has the costed policies to turn this around. We've got a long-term plan to make the economy much stronger. And I can appreciate when people feel ignored, they look to a party who they think is going to spice things up and do things unconventionally. But you've also got to vote for a party who actually has a track record of being able to get things done. And the question I would put to One Nation voters is, do you honestly believe that One Nation are gunning to form government in South Australia? Because if you think that, then who's their leader going to be? Who's the One Nation Premier potentially going to be? And the answer is they don't know, because there's no one who is serious who's running in the lower house. And I'm genuinely focused on getting those bread and butter issues right. I feel like there's been a failure of probably the Liberal Party to just focus on those bread and butter issues, but Labor too. And that's why my campaign has just been on getting back to those basics.
Can I ask you a slightly left field one? You may have seen Matt Canavan nationally, the Nationals leader, has started spruiking a policy in the environment of talking about energy sovereignty in Australia and making better use of the resources we have at our disposal, drilling the Great Australian Bight. Mm-hmm. I actually asked one of the local One Nation candidate about this, and they didn't have much of a clear position on it. Is that something that, in principle, is worth exploring, or is that something that, on the face of it, you'd say is a bad idea?
No, on the face of it, I'd say it's probably a bad idea. We've got plans in place to further protect the Bight for obvious reasons. I mean, it's an amazing natural resource, really. It's an icon of Australia, and particularly South Australia. And when it comes to energy security, we are focused on gas. We want to keep Torrens Island open into the future until we've got that fit-for-purpose replacement. So that's where our focus is, not on the Bight.
Have you given any thought, Ashton Hearn, to your thoughts about staying on as leader after tomorrow? I mean, in the event you become Premier, I'm sure you will. But if you
yes,
but if you don't become Premier, do you see this as realistically like a 2-term sort of proposition? You trying to get to use an AFL analogy, get the party through the rebuild?
Well, to be honest, I really haven't thought too much beyond the election, other than if we have the great honour of forming government and being able to roll out our policies. And I just haven't allowed myself to think about that, because I'm not interested in trying to, craft what the commentariat might say after the election and if the polls are right. But I'm certainly not going anywhere. I am in it for the long haul. I love this state. I love the Liberal Party, and I'll keep going, and so will my team. But yeah, I haven't thought too much about it, just because, again, I don't want to be someone who gets I don't want to get too ahead of myself. You've got to be focused in the here and now. And so that's where my focus has been.
Well, you should know that every time you do come on the show, and we're getting it now, you do get positive feedback, because people respect you for having a crack. They know the circumstances under which you got the job. And the fact that you've got through it with, a smile on your face, despite the predictions of doom flying left, right and centre, is a credit to you. Good luck tomorrow, Ashton. We'll say the same thing to Peter Malinauskas when he comes on as well later in the program. And we always enjoy our chats with you, and we're sure that they will continue. Thanks for coming in.
Likewise. No, my pleasure, guys. Thank you.
All right, let's check traffic. We'll get to some of your feedback shortly. Car battery dead? Call Batteries Direct and they'll come to you anytime with a new affordable battery installed.
Morning there. Roads are looking too bad at the moment. Got a small bingle getting sorted at Salisbury Park Terrace near Commercial Road. No great dramas through there. Theberton, Burst Watermain, Port Road near Phillip Street. Plus urgent council works about the same spot too. So that is slow at the moment. And getting busy at the moment at Campbelltown for works. Lower North East Road near Church Road. Cameras, Baines Road, Woodcroft and Beach Road, Eagle Farm. Tired of waking up tired? Good news. Harvey Norman bedding floor stock clearance is on now. Big brand mattresses and adjustable bases priced to clear. Don't wait. Get into Harvey Norman today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings.
First-generation migrants are joining the call for a cutback in mass migration. 58% of respondents wanted to see a significant cut in Australia's immigration intake. Here in South Australia, we are particularly keen on seeing cuts to the intake, with 72% saying they wanted to see a reduction in migration.
Graham Goodings.
Voters said they trusted One Nation the most to do something about high immigration.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Get into Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes for their incredible frenzy sale on Mitsubishi Outlander and receive $1,000 worth of free fitted genuine accessories on select Outlander models.
Including ICE Outlander 7-seater ES, plus every eligible Outlander comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year new car warranty, 10-year cap price servicing and 10 years roadside assist.
Outlander frenzy sale on now at Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth or Mawson Lakes. T's and C's apply.
20 years ago, FIVEAA Milk Company was formed with a simple purpose: to give South Australians the freshest quality milk, farmed by the best SA dairy families. Keep it local, keep it real, keep farming families farming. 20 years on, FIVEAA Milk Company produces over 17 million litres of milk every year, supporting 9 SA dairy families and employing over 100 South Australians. Look for local FIVEAA Milk Company products at your supermarket and let's keep a good thing going.
South Australia, it's time to gather round. The 2026 AFL Gather Round. A festival of footy returns to our backyard from Thursday, April 9 to Sunday, April 12. Gather your mates and gather your family for a massive week of footy, food and festival fun. From Adelaide Oval right through to the Barossa, get in on it. Tickets on sale now. Tickets and more info at gatherround.afl.
This state election, it's a voting centres open all week thing. Saturday, March 14 to 21. And you can vote until 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21. Voting, it's a good thing. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner, Adelaide, South Australia.
If you've been thinking about downsizing, but the idea of leaving your neighbourhood is the biggest sticking point, Metro Homes, one of Adelaide's leading builders, has a really smart solution. Instead of selling up and moving away, you can subdivide your block and build 2 homes.
It means you get to move into a fresh, brand new home designed to suit your lifestyle now, and right next door, an investment property, or you can sell the other home.
That's rental income. It's a place for family, a long-term financial security as well. And you end up living in the same street with the same neighbours and going to the same coffee shop that you've been going to for years.
You'll enjoy more financial freedom and a home that fits the way you live today. Downsizing? Find out more by contacting Metro Homes on 8100 0999 or visit their website metrohomessa.com.au.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, you can rely on Red Spot to get you there. We're the all-Aussie, family-owned car rental company in airport terminals and cities across Australia with a new fleet and 100% local Aussie service. And right now, Red Spot is giving you spot-on savings of 15% off every vehicle at every location. Book direct and save at redspot.com.au/radio. T's and C's apply.
Red Spot.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
21 minutes after 7, got a text on the text line just a moment ago from someone commenting on the drilling of the Great Australian Bight, which Matt Canavan, the Nationals leader, has championed overnight. He says, this is Mike on the text line, says ultimately they decided not to do it because it wasn't cost effective. It's too deep, too complex, too far away from refineries. This is the existential threat of oil, is it's getting harder to find, harder to extract, and there are geopolitical problems moving it. And don't we know that at the moment? I'm just looking at the Brent crude prices, $107 a barrel, hence why this is a conversation this morning. The thing of interest, David, there's a live poll on this question on the Advertiser website, and it's had nearly 400 votes. What do you reckon the percentage is in favour or against?
Did you say it's? So it's on the Advertiser. So
yeah,
it's not South Australians.
Yep.
I would say, given how energised people are by the energy crisis, the fuel crisis, I reckon it will be a majority in favour. I reckon it'll be 65, 70%.
84-16 in favour.
Yeah.
And I reckon 4 years ago when this geez, time flies, man, having fun. 6 years ago when this last came up, 2020 was the last time we realistically had a debate about this, because there was a Norwegian company that was looking at doing it. It was the feeling, the sentiment in the public was, why would we risk this wonderful natural resource that we've got? Now we are acutely staring at the worst energy crisis in 50-odd years.
Yeah, since the 70s.
Funny what happens in the moment really sharpens the focuses.
Is there a way it could be done safely?
Well, I think yes, clearly, because it happens in other places around the world.
There's plenty of oil refineries out there that never had any dramas whatsoever. It wouldn't be visible. Who's going to it's going to be so far up offshore, it's not going to be a visual thing.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm open-minded on it myself.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting
But let us
debate.
know what you think, folks.
Absolutely. Hey, Foodie Friday's back this afternoon with Stacey Lee's program. Make sure you check that out. Always a great segment with Chris Jarmer at 3 p.m. If you're building or renovating your first choice, you'll be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg and Power. Starts to feel like the weekend when Chris is in with Stacey, and you know that, fun is just around the corner.
Oh, yes.
Sally in Hillcrest has called in with a political slogan for us from the meat tray, thanks to Najobi. Morning to you, Sally.
Morning, boys. You'll guess the party as soon as I say it. We change our leadership as often as you change your light bulb.
It's been a good version. A couple of good versions on that theme this morning. Yours might be the most crisp, Sally. Thank you. 8223 the number. Keep those coming in.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Ginnivan.
Tim Ginnivan on 5AA Breakfast.
All right, now we get down to business. There is a little election on the weekend, but there are also 2 games of footy at the Adelaide Oval, and Timmy G is going to tell us what's going to happen in them. Tim, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, those Najobi sausages, I tell you what, I made the mistake of coming into work early yesterday and walked in to what looked like a pack of ravaged dogs just being fed the Najobi sausages. Staff everywhere just shoving them in their mouths. It was unbelievable. What scenes. I walked in and went, oh, the humanity. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, Tim, let's start with Port, because I know the Crows game is tonight, but what I heard that your call, I heard the last quarter of the game when you were calling it, and clearly you're deeply unimpressed. What are you looking for against Essendon on the weekend?
I think, honestly, a massive change in the way they go about it. I felt like we were just completely out-muscled. Just physically, I thought we were feeble. And when you go back and you can analyse it and you find out we had 20 missed tackles, where you go, that's a fair indicator that we just weren't in the hunt. Now, you go and talk to the players, you talk to coaches, and you find out, that tackling can be a mindset as well as a technique. Well, I think that a lot of it for me was that we just weren't up for the fight. And that was so disappointing round one. And what I really probably liked was the sheer honesty that came out of everybody this week in the press. And for Josh Carr to put his hand up and sort of own the fact that, look, I think I started the underestimating of North Melbourne with my language. And interestingly, how, I don't know, in the last few years you've heard a coach be as honest about his bearing on a game or pre-game as you did get from Josh. So the idea is now, lesson learnt, now put it into action.
Yeah. No excuses either. It was good.
Friday night footy tonight, Tim. What's your tip? Because I think everyone's looking at this as a potential sighter on a couple of sides who have ambitions to be playing deep into September.
Yeah, well, Rowy's tipped it very early. He said whoever wins this becomes the early premiership favourite. I said it's round 2.
Jeez, it's unlike Rowy to
doing, mate.
Make a big, bold statement like that.
Exactly. But you got to say it's mouth-watering to look at. I think, again, Rowy's theory is 55 inside 50s, Crows win. They got exactly 55 inside 50s against Collingwood. So I think tonight the only place Adelaide can lose it is if they have a bad night in the midfield. If they have a bad night in the midfield, that's when you're susceptible, because that Bulldogs midfield can be very fierce and very electric the way they get that ball forward. So they need to to break even there at least so that they can get those 55 inside 50s. The two forward lines, I think Adelaide's, for mine, has still been the best in the AFL, but if there's one that challenges it, it is the Bulldogs. And there was a text message last night that I thought was pretty accurate. It said, I reckon Aaron Norton is the barometer of Bulldogs. He's on fire. He plays well. They tend to win. If he just floats out of the game, they don't have the same firepower. So I reckon we've got a real ripping game on our hands, but I'm still tipping Adelaide.
Good stuff, Timmy.
On you, Tim.
Good. Looking forward to the show next week. Timmy G.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Ginnivan.
Tim Ginnivan on 5AA Breakfast.
You'll hear him on the call over the weekend, and you'll hear it all here live on 5AA, of course, as well. Sandwiched in between all that, the election coverage tomorrow night starting from 6:30. We'll be in this very studio taking you through it. It's a good night to have it plugged into the TV, by the way, as well. Because
it's on the live stream.
We'll have all the graphics up and running as well. Brookie's done a remarkable job. Coming up after 7:30 this morning, we're going to be chatting with the Premier of South Australia to get his final word ahead of Election Day.
And for those of you who have shifted your allegiances to One Nation, we will also be having a final interview with them, so stick around.
No more. Ugh. No more. Try Arbor Vitae Joint Health for the relief of pain and other symptoms associated with mild arthritis and inflammation. Arbor Vitae is wellness backed by science. A clinical study on Arbor Vitae Joint Health can be viewed at arborvitae.com.au. That's ARBORVITAE.com.au. Now stocked in all major chemists and health food stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, they've been raising the bar on servicing. It starts with next day servicing, free loan car, free vacuum and wash, and you can enjoy a free breakfast or lunch thanks to Villies. Your car will be in expert hands with a state-of-the-art service centre and factory-trained technicians who know your vehicle inside and out. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we look after you and your car. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Real estate is booming in SA, and with Toop & Toop's proven strategies, they're connecting motivated buyers with the right homes, ensuring no opportunity is missed.
Bronte Manuel and his team, they've been helping Adelaide buyers and sellers for over 40 years. That's why so many South Australians look to them for real estate advice.
Right now, they're working with 8,794 buyers in Nord, 7,809 buyers in Rose Park, and 7,751 buyers in Toorak Gardens, all searching for their perfect property in these specific locations through the Toop Vault.
If you're thinking of selling and would like to know how many buyers we're working with in your suburb, head to toop.com.au to see how they can help you get the best result.
As a South Aussie-based not-for-profit health insurer, Health Partners isn't just your health partner. We're your tooth-checking partner, hammy-stretching partner, chart-squinting partner. We're your bone-mending, script-filling, arch-lifting, giving, salad suggesting, generous limit giving, member supporting, SA loving partner. So for great value health cover, there's no better partner in health than Health Partners. Health insurance made human.
I'll get it. Dave, let me guess. Your power's out and you'd like to charge your phones.
How did you know?
Just lucky, I guess. Oh, and half the street is here doing the same. Come in, mate.
Dave, you too.
With Solar Power Direct Home Battery Storage, life goes on, even when the power's out.
Now, who's up for a cuppa?
Yes, please.
solarpowerdirect.com.au.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
An Aldinga Beach man has been arrested after crashing his car into a guardrail and fleeing the scene. The crash happened at the intersection of Main South Road and Malpas Road just before 4 this morning. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad has told David and Will the 30-year-old was found a short time later.
We've attended at a nearby address and found the alleged driver hiding in a front yard. So we've arrested a 30-year-old man from Aldinga Beach. He's been arrested for traffic offences at this stage.
Fire investigators are heading to Mount Mary near Morgan in the state's Riverland this morning. CFS crews, police and paramedics were called to the property just after 8 last night. A home and several cars have been destroyed in the blaze. The cause hasn't been determined. Cyclone Narelle is closing in on far north Queenslanders, with residents bracing for the monster storm to make landfall. The Category 4 system will cross east of Coen shortly, bringing extremely destructive winds and heavy rainfall. Coen business owner says it's been a chaotic week preparing.
The last 2 days, everyone has been tidying their yards, pulling together, doing trailer loads to the local dump, making sure that there's nothing that can fly around and damage people or property. To be honest, it's been pretty exhausting, and then a bit of a restless night last night as well, given the impending doom that's coming.
Bosses are being told to start discussing work from home options as the fuel crisis deepens. More from Gabrielle Hodson.
A top Australian economist says employers and governments should open up a public conversation about working from home where possible as the cost and availability of fuel worsens. AMP Capital's Shane Oliver has told SMH The Age that to keep the economy functioning for as long as possible, we also need to start doing the shopping just once a week, buying E10 fuel, rethinking road trips and using public transport more often. In the UK, the government's looking at a more drastic measure, making the top speed limit 80 k's an hour to save petrol. And in parts of Asia, including Sri Lanka, they're already moving to a 4-day working week.
More than 6,500 Australians have now returned on direct flights out of the Middle East. Another 4 direct flights are scheduled to land on home soil today. Critical energy infrastructure in the Middle East remains in the firing line this morning. US correspondent Reid Butler has more.
This morning we have had confirmation that Iranian missile fragments have hit an oil refinery in Haifa in Israel. Israel says there's been no major damage reported, but it is still just the latest example of a series of escalating strikes on that critical energy infrastructure. In Qatar yesterday, we saw a major hit on a large gas plant there. The Qatar Prime Minister this morning has called for an immediate end to this war. This new phase, it all started when Israel hit the South Pars gas field. That has sparked a diplomatic row. There have been conflicting reports that the United States approved that Israeli strike.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Jess. One game to kick off round 2 of the AFL last night. Hawthorn outlasting Sydney to win by 17 points at the MCG. The Hawks have now recorded back-to-back wins after a first-up loss. Meantime, the Crows have welcomed back Isaac Rankin for tonight's big clash against the Bulldogs at home, while Port Adelaide has brought in Jack Lukosius, Jackson Mead and Jordan Sweet to its squad for Sunday's match against Essendon. Meantime, the AFL has revealed its blueprint to get Indigenous players back in the game. Alex Riddell reports.
The AFL says it wants to increase the number of Indigenous players at the top level of the game to 10% by 2030. The Age reports the AFL has set a target of 81 AFL players and 29 in the AFLW. There are currently 62 First Nations players on the men's list and 22 on the women's. The current number of Indigenous players at the top level of the game is at a 20-year low. One of the options being explored by the AFL includes a dedicated list spot for First Nations players. It comes as the league's research found that the careers of Indigenous players lasted on average 1 year less, and if they remained in the AFL system, there would be 12 more players in the league.
To soccer now, Adelaide United will take on the Western Sydney Wanderers in Sydney tonight as they look to cement their spot in the top 6 of the A-League. Meantime, Nottingham Forest is into the quarterfinals of the Europa League after a penalty shootout win against Danish side FC Midtjylland. Aston Villa is hoping to join them. They're currently 1-0 up on aggregate against French side Lille, heading into the second half. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tommy. Let's check the traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Morning there. Roads are looking too bad today. Got a small bingle getting sorted at Salisbury Park Terrace near Commercial Road, but nothing in it really. Theberton, Burst Watermain, Port Road near Phillip Street. Got council works in the same spot, so that is a bit slow. Getting quite busy. South Road, Mile End, kind of does this time, and a couple of cameras setting up at the moment. Blacks Road, Gillis Plains, and one right now, Fairfax Road and Ingle Farm. Join Health Partners today for up to 12 weeks free. Health Partners, your value-giving health insurance partner. New members only, ends March 31. T's and C's apply. See website for full details. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Mostly sunny and 27 today. Sunny and 27 for voting day tomorrow. 29 for Sunday. Sunny and 30 for Monday. Right now it's 18 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, FIVEAA Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for FIVEAA Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes to 8, it's election eve. 5AA Breakfast. We're giving them, the leaders of the major parties, an opportunity to come in the studio. You can watch them live on the Facebook and YouTube live stream. And Mike, a final pitch to you, our 5AA listeners. The Premier, Peter Malinauskas, is in the studio with us. Peter Malinauskas, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Dave.
Thank you for joining us, Premier. Thanks for the access you've given us during the campaign as well. You had your chance encounter with Pauline Hanson in the foyer of the Advertiser building the other day. Was that the first time you'd ever met her?
Yes. Yeah. It was very civil and cordial. I mean, once the cameras turned on, she decided to have a bit of a crack at me, which is, that's fair enough.
About the bum wiping?
Yeah, about those comments, which she obviously hasn't seen the context in which I said them, but nor has anyone else really. But yeah, so it was a very civil encounter, and I wished her all the best and safe travels home back to Queensland.
Do you believe at the moment...
Yes, I know.
This election campaign is, when you talk about the political polling, has almost been couched in terms of, beyond the Labor-Liberal battle, the degree to which the Liberal Party is losing votes to One Nation. Do you believe now, with the strength of One Nation polling, you're losing Labor voters to them as well?
I think there's every chance of that. Look, people move their votes around more today than ever before. And, I mean, there's every possibility, I think, that we're seeing some Liberal voters move to One Nation. I think we're seeing some Liberal voters move to Labor, and I think we're seeing some Labor voters moving to One Nation. And how all that plays out on the day is anybody's guess. Look, my only thing I'd say is, while I'm alive to the fact that there is restlessness in some parts of the community about the body politic writ large, I just hope the majority of South Australians appreciate that this is not a federal election. We are not voting on migration. We are voting on who runs the state. And Pauline Hanson is going to wake up on Sunday morning and she's going to be in Queensland and I'll be in Adelaide. I'll be in South Australia, standing up for the joint, fighting for the joint. And I think there is a risk that I'm concerned about, that people go into the ballot box and they go, oh, yeah, let's vote for One Nation and Pauline, even though she's not on the ticket. She doesn't have a single plan for the state, no policy for the state, almost by admission. Yesterday was costings day and they had nothing, right? So they don't actually have a plan for the state, whereas we do. And I want to do my level best to keep fighting for South Australia and keep elevating our position in the Commonwealth, keep, seeing the state's economic position improve to hopefully improve people's living standards. That's actually how you make a difference. So, and I think that contrast is there. And I hope, like I said, people don't go into the ballot box and vote for an opposition. They're choosing the government. And that has to be treated seriously because all those votes add up and people shouldn't dismiss their vote lightly.
Are you worried at the sense of expectation that all you got to do is turn up tomorrow and you've got it in the bag?
Absolutely.
But surely there's been about 12, 15, 18 polls now all saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but Dave, how many polls have you seen in recent political history that have been completely wrong? This is serious stuff. And, I've never treated it lightly. Like that sacred act when someone goes into a polling booth and casts a secret ballot with no one else watching, that's the one that matters. And that's the one that determines the future of South Australia. And we've achieved a lot over 4 years. We're not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. There have been errors. There have been shortcomings. I acknowledge all of those. But there's also been an awful lot of good. whether it be what we've done on technical colleges, whether it be what we've done on TAFE to get people trained up, whether it be getting unemployment to the lowest levels on record, the fastest growing economy in the country, now the fastest housing growth rate in the country. We've got real wages growing in South Australia faster than the rest of the country. You know, I've managed to be able to secure the AUKUS agreement. We've saved Whyalla, saved Bedford, dealt with the drought, dealt with the algal bloom. Like, these things don't just happen. We put a lot of work into it, and I'd love to be able to continue that work because my kids grow up here, your kids grow up here, and we need to have someone who is fighting for the future of the state economically, so those people can stay growing up here and have a good have a good living, a good income, put a roof over their head. You know, that's not just going to happen, and that's what I guess I'm in it for. And I'm not too sure if Pauline Hanson can say the same thing.
Favouritism has manifested some interesting things in this election campaign, and I wonder if you've heard this, because we certainly have here. And I don't think the release of the Labor strategy document helped you on this case today.
I haven't even read that. I mean, I don't even know what that document is, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it speaks to political ambition, okay? Reducing the Libs to 0 seats and so forth.
That is complete nonsense. That's a line that's been put out by the Liberal Party director, Alex Hyde, or whoever it was in the Liberal Party that have said this, in order to be able to lower expectations on their part.
Okay.
That is a complete fallacy.
So, but the refrain we're getting coming from a position of favouritism, people are saying, hang on, why is this party and our Premier adding $750 million to state debt when they're all but guaranteed to return? Yeah. Is this a case of putting political ambition over what's best for South Australia?
Absolutely not. So what we're doing is making sure that we're honest and transparent about the investments we're making on behalf of the state. And, you know, in terms of the relative costings position or the budget position of our election commitments versus the Liberal Party, we're spending a lot less than them. They've got a $2 billion black hole that is either paid for by debt, or yesterday Ben Hood again, or the Liberal Party again, were ruling out a land tax on the family home, which is mind-boggling. So, you know, political parties can fudge their costings and pretend they're spending less than what they are. We haven't. We've been honest about what our commitments are. We've made a deliberate pursuit in terms of investment in skills and training, building more technical colleges. We've got more jobs coming here that we know what to do with, and our kids need the skills so they can get high-paid jobs. That's the whole idea, particularly around AUKUS and housing construction. So building those technical colleges is an investment in the future, but also providing that cost of living relief. But critically, as you appreciate, we have delivered budget surpluses, and our costings ensure that we continue to deliver budget surpluses as things stand today.
Premier, you've got a bit of experience when it comes to tapping premiers on the back and telling them that they've reached their use-by date. What's your use-by date? How long do you want to do this job for? Are you going to serve out the entire next term if you're re-elected?
Well, that's absolutely.
And run again after that? Is that the plan?
Look, let's wait and see. One election at a time, Dave.
Well,
I mean, you're trying to presume an outcome, which I've been at pains to ensure that I and my team do not do for 1 second. But absolutely, if we're given the opportunity to be in government after Saturday, my plan is to serve out the term. Absolutely.
But you talk about how energised you are by AUKUS and so forth. That's a long-term strategy. Osborne is going to be more than a 4-year proposition.
Northern Water.
Do you have a sort of 10-year? Is that your dream? A 10-year premiership? When you look at Beattie, people like that.
I do not. I have not thought about that at all. Because the moment you start thinking about an election beyond the next one, you're taking the one before you for granted. And that is just madness in the current political environment. We are seeing...
One game at a time, to use a footy analogy.
Well, if you're going to use a footy analogy, sure. Because we are seeing major political parties' votes cratering around the world, around the Western world, in liberal democracies. And, you know, I guess I'm alive to the fact that there is a lot of volatility in the global geopolitical environment. There's a lot of volatility in the political environment. And South Australia, anyone that thinks that South Australia can be immune from that is kidding themselves, least of all me and my team. So that's why I've been just absolutely as assertive as I could be as a leader internally on discipline and making sure that we just remain united and focusing on presenting the options of a plan for the future of the state.
Can we just break from talking about the election for just a moment and talk about very real potential issue here in South Australia. I know you met with the Prime Minister yesterday. It was the emergency meeting of the National Cabinet.
Yes.
How realistic is it that we run out of petrol in South Australia?
In the foreseeable future, there is no advice to suggest that's going to occur. And I've inquired of everybody.
Can I ask what the foreseeable future is?
Well, so fuel security is the domain of the federal government. I haven't just taken what they say, although there's no reason not to. I've also spoken to the CEO of fuel companies myself, including some major, like the majors. If you think, without naming names, there are some big brands in South Australia. I've spoken to myself. And all of the fuel supply that comes from other parts of the world, and also obviously the refining capacity that remains in Australia is at flat strap. But the fuel supplies that come from other parts of the world, including that come in here to Port Adelaide, all of a ride on time as scheduled, and they see that happening for the foreseeable future, which takes us up to May. So, and now what happens in the medium, in the long term? 6 weeks away. Well, sure, but what happens in the long term, if you guys want to guess what's happening in the White House, I wish you all the very best. We won't be. Now, the Prime Minister has established the Fuel Supply Task Force. The CEO of the Department of Energy Mining, one of the best public servants I've worked with, Paul Martin, has been appointed to that by the government, and the work continues. But there has been no evidence or advice to the federal government that suggests that things are at risk. So, but like I said, we live in extraordinary times.
Peter Malinauskas, as we said to Ashton Hearn earlier, we'll say it to One Nation later as well. But good luck out there tomorrow. Thank you for the access that you've given us during the campaign.
Can I make one observation? And this is a credit to Ashton, the Liberal Party, and One Nation. I think you touched on this in the column today, Dave. Do not underestimate how lucky we are in this state to have a civil political discourse.
Yeah.
Look around the world at the moment. Whatever the outcome is tomorrow, I think all major candidates will accept it. There won't be people complaining about a dodgy electoral commission. At least I hope not. There won't be, but you don't see violence. You see genuine engagement. The debates I've had with Ashton have been really healthy, I think, and that's a credit to everybody, even including the media. So yeah, and I think that's something we should be proud of. One last point: this is the first election anywhere in the world where there are zero political donations at elections. No unions, no corporates, no rich private donors. And that's pretty special. And there's a record number of candidates, like by a big margin. So that just speaks to a healthy democracy in our state, and I think that's something everybody should have a bit of pride in.
Peter Malinauskas, we'll catch up again after the election. Thank you for coming in today.
Okay, cheers.
All right, let's check traffic. If your car battery's dead, call Batteries Direct. They'll come to you anytime with a new affordable battery installed.
Morning there. Roads are looking too bad for the running today, which is excellent. Quite light traffic, which is nice for a change. Do have a burst of water, Thebburn to look out for. Port Road near Phillips Street. Got urgent council works at the same spot too, so that is a bit sluggish. A bit busy at the moment. South Road at Marlene, kind of always is this time. And started to build Main North Road at Enfield heading into the city. Canberra's Fairfax Road, Ingle Farm. And going right now setting up Old South Road, Old Ranella. The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres open all week thing. Make sure you vote by this Saturday, March 21, 6 p.m. Voting, it's a good thing. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
This state election, it's a voting centres open all week thing. Saturday, March 14 to 21. And you can vote until 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21. Voting, it's a good thing. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner, Adelaide, South Australia.
A smashed or damaged windscreen can happen in a heartbeat, but it does get worse if you don't go to your local Complete Windscreens to get it fixed. You could be waiting weeks. And look, that's not on. Complete Windscreens has windscreens and glass for all makes and models in stock right now with 15 technicians standing by to get you back on the road. You don't need to wait. Tell your insurance company you want Complete Windscreens on the job. CompleteWindscreens.com.au. Look for the big red koala.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
From Cairns to Canberra, Perth to Port Macquarie, you can rely on Red Spot to provide the perfect ride for your next holiday. We're the only Aussie family-owned and operated car rental company in airport terminals and cities all over Australia with a new fleet and 100% local Aussie service. And right now, Red Spot is giving you spot-on savings of 15% off every vehicle at every location. Book direct and save at redspot.com.au/radio. T's and C's apply.
Now, there's nothing quite like discovering a hidden gem, especially when it leads to your new favourite bottle of wine. Thornclark Wine's located in the Barossa Valley. Such a beautiful winery. It's family-owned boutique winery combining tranquility with perfectly curated wines.
You'll be asking yourself, why haven't I been here before? As you take in the sprawling gardens and panoramic views, enjoy a wine tasting that's customised to you while enjoying a platter of local Barossa Valley produce.
Great place to take the kids, great place to go with your friends. You can end your day at the driving range, get the clubs out, overlook the Eden Valley, chip over into the paddock there. But then the really fun bit, take home a few bottles from their Sandpiper and Shopfire ranges, especially, Will and I had some of this the other night, the new Shopfire Collector's Heritage Edition Shiraz.
Next time you head to the Barossa Valley, go the extra mile. Make Thornclark Wines your first stop. Cellar door opens 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday to Sunday.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes, a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 to 8, you almost have to peer between your fingers at the moment when you pass a petrol station and look at the petrol gauge and think, crikey, what am I going to pay for oil, for petrol? I've got to say, I sent the group a text last night. The oil barrel price of Brent crude at one point reached $117 when European markets opened, and they were really jittery. And I had just horrible, like the pre-COVID feeling of there might be some really hard times ahead. Yeah. It's moderated down to 107, which compared to 117 is good, but still, based on the Treasury modelling, says if we get $100 plus oil for a consecutive period of months, we get inflation with a 4 in front of it, potentially. Remember, the RBA aims for 2 to 3.
I wonder if it'll change. We should check in on this on Monday. Regional towns that get weekend visitors, people go, oh, well, it'd be nice to go up to the Barossa on the weekend. It'd be nice to go down to Victor for the day, down to Middleton, maybe go down to go down to Port Elliot and get a pasty, join the queue for those excellent pasties. Is it going to make people go, bugger that?
Well, it's a great question. It affects everything. It affects everything from your weekend day trip to, I don't know, BHP mining for copper because you need sulfuric acid as a byproduct of oil production and you need to power your trucks.
Totally.
It's the big thing to the day trip to a beautiful part of South Australia.
And it's a much bigger issue thinking from when we've lived at Aldinga, for extended periods of time. You'd notice how much more juice you go through because you got no choice but to drive back and forth.
Absolutely.
I mean, crikey, catching that bus. There's 180 stops between Adelaide and the Silver Sands Surf Club. Like, if you are car dependent, you've got the biggest dog in this fight right now because you spend so much of your money on fuel.
There's two components to this discussion as well. There's the cost element that feeds into everything. There's the availability element too, which the Premier said he was reassured by the Prime Minister yesterday at the emergency cabinet meeting that supply is not an issue, at very least for the next 6 weeks here in Australia. But we wanted to introduce Tony Wood into this conversation, the Energy Program Director at the Grattan Institute. Tony, good morning. Happy to give you the floor in terms of the current state of play with regard to both supply and cost into South Australia. What concerns you? Are there reasons for optimism? What are you watching at the moment?
Look, I think at the moment, things, generally speaking, the trajectory is things are getting worse rather than better. And the last couple of days have illustrated that with the what appears to be a tit-for-tat attack on gas facilities in the Middle East, Iran and Qatar, and then the Israelis. So, look, now that doesn't obviously affect petrol directly, but it certainly affects other things. And so, and there appears to be some movement, maybe Trump and Netanyahu aren't getting on quite so well together and agreeing what they should be doing. Albo's quite rightly saying, well, at the moment, the best we can hope for is this thing stops soon because surely they've achieved most of their objectives. The problem is that most of this thing is completely outside of the government's control. There's things we can do. And I think the government actually, given the circumstances, has been doing a good job at one level. The one thing I would think we could hear more about is a clear message on what is actually happening so people know where we stand. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to be good news. I think most Australians, when they can be comfortable that what they're being told is the accurate bad news, at least then you can work out, okay, what am I going to do about this, rather than being told it's all okay or it's all terrible. So that's what I hope, and that's what the appointment of a national fuel coordinator coming out of federal cabinet yesterday might do more in terms of getting good data so we know exactly what's happening. Australians can understand where things are going. And all the things you guys were just talking about, people can start thinking about, okay, well, maybe I won't be driving my car so much. Maybe I will work from home a bit more. Maybe all those things are possible, but you can only make those decisions if you've got good information.
Tony, if Donald Trump came out in the next 10 minutes and said, war's over, we're pulling out, mission accomplished, whatever, how long does it take, do you think, for the oil price to normalise and what people are paying at pumps in Australia to get back closer to what it was back in, say, the start of February this year?
Yeah, look, there's two things about that as well. I mean, firstly, Australia has got very long fuel supply chains from the point where their fuel comes from overseas, through the import terminals at the coast, through more terminals inland where we keep fuel so it can be distributed efficiently right through to the end consumer. It takes a while for that to be depleted. Now, when we saw, I think the term that some people used, including the government, was panic buying, what we were doing was emptying that supply chain. Even the amount of fuel the government's released in the last couple of weeks, what it's doing is filling up the supply chain again, even though the fuel continues to flow. So we haven't seen an actual physical disruption to the production of crude oil. This issue that's happened in the last 24, 48 hours around the big gas-producing facilities in Iran and Qatar is potentially a problem in terms of destroying physical facilities. And some of your listeners, and you may remember that when the governments invaded Iraq, one of the things that happened then was they were destroying the oil-producing actual wells themselves. Now, none of that's happened so far here. So in that sense, we should see things move fairly quickly to ongoing supply. Remembering that we get our petrol and petrol and diesel and aviation fuel from a number of sources. They get their crude oil from a number of sources, which includes the Middle East. So that whole supply chain has to get moving again. Now, we haven't seen a disruption to our petrol and diesel and aviation fuel supplies to Australia yet. The direct consequences is that it's been more expensive, but that could happen as well. And that's what I think the government's most concerned about.
Good stuff, Tony. Thank you for that. Tony Wood, the Energy Program Director at the Grattan Institute.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tyres. Grab 3 Falcon Zeek ZE 310R passenger car tyres and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttyres.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tyres.
Connected to our community for 50 years. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Just one more day until South Australians go to the polls. An Advertiser YouGov poll shows Labor's heading for a landslide win. Premier Peter Malinauskas says it's a clear choice, with South Australia boasting the lowest unemployment rate of any state in the nation and the nation's fastest growing economy. SA's seasonally adjusted jobless rate for February was 4% compared with a national average of 4.3%. Tropical cyclone Narelle is making landfall in far north Queensland, bearing down as a Category 4 system. Destructive winds are hammering the region with peak wind gusts of 270 k's an hour at the centre of the storm. Senior forecaster Phelim Hanafi says it's a fast-moving system.
And the core of those very destructive winds now spreading onto the coast as well. And that system will move inland and weaken over the next few hours. It is moving relatively quickly, so it does mean those core of very destructive winds, if you are in the path of the system, should pass through relatively quickly as well. And
a driver's been arrested after crashing his car at Aldinga this morning before leaving the scene. Police were called to the intersection of Main South Road and Malpas Road just before 4 this morning. They found a Toyota Land Cruiser in a ditch, but the driver wasn't with it. A short time later, the 30-year-old Aldinga Beach man was found hiding in a front yard nearby. He's been interviewed this morning and charged with traffic offences. Employers and governments are being told to start planning now for a potential worsening of Australia's fuel supply issues. Experts say the worst of the issues will be felt from late April if the conflict in the Middle East continues. A meeting will be held between the Federal Energy Minister and his state counterparts to discuss concerns. Supply chain expert David Leaney says the federal government has a range of options.
They can actually direct the oil companies to prioritise, for example, rural and regional. So that's a really important thing, farms and regional communities, and limits on fuel usage, no jerry cans.
As concerns over fuel prices and supply heat up, behavioural experts are investigating what motivates panic buying. Research indicates it's rarely individuals' planning or anxious personality traits that trigger the stockpiling, but a belief everyone else is doing it. University of Sunshine Coast psychology lecturer Dr. Corrine Roon says there are parallels between now and pandemic times.
It was obviously COVID that was the uncertain situation, and now it's the war in the Middle East. And we tend to panic buy as a way to almost control that uncertainty. So it's a type of coping that we engage in.
US intelligence officials are being grilled about the level of threat posed by Iran before the United States and Israel launched strikes earlier this month. President Donald Trump has again spruiked the success of the military campaign and reiterated there are no plans to deploy ground troops to the region. Speaking with the Japanese Prime Minister in the Oval Office, he's been asked why allies weren't given more of a heads up.
I don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Tom Wren, a massive night at the Adelaide Oval ahead.
It's got to be huge, isn't it, Jess? I think everyone's looking forward to this one. The countdown almost over for that blockbuster between Adelaide and the Bulldogs, which is being played at Adelaide Oval. The Crows have brought in Isaac Rankin. That's positive, and that's for Toby Murray, who's being managed. Port, meantime, has named a squad for Sunday's clash against Essendon with Jack Lukosius in, as well as Jordan Sweet. And there was one game last night to kick off round two, Hawthorn beating Sydney by 17 points at the MCG. Nick Watson with some icing on the cake after the siren.
He's going to have the last laugh. He'll kick his first goal of the evening. Time on is blown. Clock starts running. Hawthorn to win by 17 points unless he falls over. Two-step approach, straight through the middle.
The Adelaide 36ers will fly to Sydney today ahead of tomorrow's grand final series, which begins in Sydney with game one of their best-of-5 series. The Matildas will have a light run in Sydney today as well, ahead of tomorrow night's Asian Cup final against Japan. A-League action tonight for Adelaide United with an away game against the bottom-placed Western Sydney Wanderers. Coach Erton Andrioli has confirmed the Reds will be unchanged. And in overseas action, Aston Villa's currently 1-0 up against French side Lille in the Europa League with about 20 minutes to play. They're leading 2-0 on aggregate, meaning they'll progress to the quarterfinals if they can hold on, and they'll join Nottingham Forest, who are already through after winning their tie on penalties. One game in the NRL overnight, the Canterbury Bulldogs 14 to 10-point winners against the Canberra Raiders. In some tennis, Aussie Kim Birrell has levelled up her match against American Ann Lee in their first-round encounter at the Miami Open. Fellow Aussie Alexei Poprin is down a set and a break against Croatian veteran Marin Cilic, while earlier Talia Gibson had a win, but James Duckworth lost. And in some golf, South Korea's Sungjae Im is the man to catch after the opening round of the Valspar Championship in Florida. He shot an impressive 7-under round of 64 to lead by a single shot over American Brandt Snedeker, while Carl Phillips is the best of the Aussies. He's 5 shots back in a tie for 17th. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Let's check the traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Morning there. Roads are looking too bad for the running today. Got a small bingle getting sorted out at the moment. Elizabeth South, Phillip Highway near Oldham Road. Burst Watermain and Counter Works pretty well on the same spot at Theberson Port Road near Phillip Street. That is slow. It is starting to build. The parade coming through Norwood today and a bit sluggish too at the Britannia roundabout at Rose Park. Camera, Baines Road, Woodcroft. Tired of waking up tired? Good news. Harvey Norman bedding floor stock clearance is on now. Big brand mattresses and adjustable bases priced to clear. Don't wait. Get into Harvey Norman today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Mostly sunny and 27 today, sunny and 27 tomorrow, 29 for Sunday, sunny and 30 for Monday. Right now it's 18 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Are your energy levels not what they used to be? Are you constantly dragging yourself to get through the day? Caruso's NMN 500 to the rescue. Caruso's NMN 500 is a one-a-day formula that helps your body produce NAD+, a coenzyme vital for cellular energy production that naturally declines as you age. So if you're tired of feeling tired, try Caruso's NMN 500 today from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Whatever your morning looks like, own it with Up and Go Liquid Breakfast. Braving the bus or carving a wave, battling rush hour or feeling the rush of your favourite trail. Fueled with the protein, fibre and vitamins you need to get up and go.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. We've been helping Adelaide buyers and sellers for over 40 years. That's why so many South Australians look to us for real estate advice. Right now, in our Toop Vault, we're working with 8,794 buyers in Norwood, 7,809 in Rose Park and 7,751 in Toorak Gardens, all searching for their perfect property in these specific locations. If you're thinking of selling, visit toop.com.au.
A lot can change in 18 months. A newborn becomes a toddler. That DIY project you've been working on, well, should be finalised. Your favourite Netflix series could sadly come to an end. But with Sterling Homes' 18-month fixed-price contract, one thing that won't change is the price.
It means you can rest easy knowing that when you're ready to build, the price is fixed for a solid 18 months with zero surprises, except for your free luxury upgrades.
$15,000 worth of luxury upgrades, all at no extra cost. Choose what matters to you. It could be reverse cycle air conditioning, stone benchtop, solar panels and more, plus 2.7 metre high ceilings are included.
Ask about Sterling Homes' 18-month fixed-price contract. Some T's and C's apply. Visit their website, sterlinghomes.com.au, for display home locations across Adelaide.
There's a difference between being served and being helped. Often at a big hardware franchise, you're just being served. At Mowers Plus Salisbury, we're here to help. We ask the right questions, then we can help you pick what works from a huge range of brush cutters, blowers, ride-on mowers, chainsaws and so much more. Decades of know-how and a workshop that keeps everything you own running like new. Google Mowers Plus Salisbury and trust your garden to us.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Does feel like we've woken up in an alternate reality sometimes. We have the US president joking with the Japanese prime minister about Pearl Harbor, but that is the reality that we all inhabit now, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 20th of March here on planet Earth.
Planet Earth.
Thank God Friday night footy's coming up. Way to make sense of it all. We have spoken with Ashton Hernan, the Premier this morning, Peter Malinauskas, in the final hours of the election campaign. Of course, South Australians go to the poll tomorrow. I wonder how many it's going to be. We already know there's a record number that have voted early. Sausage.
The good thing about that too is not only do you get the snag, but what that means, and it's big thanks to Najobi, is that all of those school communities are going to get new facilities. They're going to get better playgrounds. They're going to get shade sales. The amount of stuff that was paid for last year when we first did the Democracy Sausage Initiative for the federal election runs into the thousands and thousands of dollars. So when you see that snag, You're looking at, new sports equipment, all sorts of stuff for kids. And it's going to be absolutely terrific.
Just trying to get in touch with our Breaking at 8 guest this morning.
I'm not sure what he's up to. I'm sure he's probably got 15 other phone calls on the go at the same time, but we're going to get the final tail of the tape at some stage from One Nation, because they have been the story of the election campaign. And it's one of our listeners who has been in the absolute thick of it.
Exactly right. So if you're a One Nation listener, we've heard from Carlos Caremba. He will be coming on very shortly. We're just trying to get a hold of him at this moment. So let's do some texts.
There's an absolute mountain of texts. Quite a few people are having a crack at Mally for having a crack at Pauline Hanson about being a Queenslander. Neil says, so by Mally's logic about Hanson not being an SA after the election, I guess Albo won't be at any polling booths today or tomorrow. He's in town today, the Prime Minister. My understanding is he's going to be in Whyalla. There's something happening there, I think. There's some steelworks related.
Okay.
It'll probably be like, thank you for saving our jobs. I can't imagine there's going to be
Pick-fack. That's what they call it, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, and apparently going to the footy tonight as well. Hopefully, they doesn't do a pitch invasion.
Yeah. Luckily, no one can kick the 100th goal tonight, as far as we know, anyway.
Should we switch it around and do Breaking at 8 whenever we can get Carlos on the line?
Yes.
And for now, talk to Connie Benares.
Yeah, well, let's talk. This is a really important regional South Australian issue, because I think we've just read through a huge list of places you can get a 5AA breakfast democracy sausage, and built into reading out that list is the knowledge that you have a plethora of opportunities when it comes to voting if you live in suburban Adelaide. It's not the case if you live out in the regions. Connie Benares, the SA Best MLC, joins us. Connie, tell our listeners a bit about the plight of Coober Pedy residents and what their access to democracy is like.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. Look, we talk about how lucky we are to live in a democracy and to be able to cast our vote on election day, but not if you live in Coober Pedy or Roxby Downs, for that matter. This year, polling booths on election day have been scrapped from both of those regional towns. Now, that's my town, Coober Pedy. So I had a flurry of pretty angry people and family and friends contacting me since a couple of days ago. We cancelled orders that were going to go up there because people can't get to the next closest town to vote, and that's Andamuka. It's over 400 kilometres away.
So you're going to drive for 4 hours now if you live in Coober Pedy to cast your vote.
If you can afford the fuel, if you've got the fuel, it beggars belief that we're saying on election day, the day where we cast our vote. Don't worry about what we've done for the last week. Yes, there were 2 mobile polling booths that went through the town earlier in the week, but only half the population voted, and it looks like only half the population knew that they had to vote before the 21st of March, which, that is election day. That's the day where we all get to go into a booth and cast our vote for who we want to represent us, except, of course, if you live in Coober Pedy or Roxby Downs. It's insane.
So, Connie, you were born and bred Coober Pedy girl, yeah?
I'm born and bred here, but my dad's an opal miner. So we spent, I was lucky enough to be blessed with a dowry, a house in Coober Pedy. Yeah. That was some Greek girls come with, goats and cows. I came with a house in Coober Pedy.
Don't they call it a baula in Greek?
A baulo, that's right.
A baula, that's right.
And Dave, I actually it's funny you should say that, because I only just sold my house in Coober Pedy, and I brought back my baulo that my grandparents first had when they arrived in Australia.
Wow.
Something to keep in my home. But look, again, seriously,
I thought every Greek wife came with a complete set of Bessemer cookware.
Well, that too, and crocheted doilies, all sorts of, all sorts of things. But I came with a house in Coober Pedy. So I've spent my childhood there. We still have family and friends there. My uncle rang me last week in a panic, thinking he wasn't going to be able to vote for his own niece. My dad's best mates are up there. They were going to hand out how to vote cards and help. And the reality is they can't they can't get to Andamuka. It's, again, like I said, it's over 400 kilometres away. And we all know what's happening with fuel at the moment. People are preserving what they have. They're worried about what next week is going to look like. Even if I sent them fuel vouchers, it wouldn't help.
Yeah.
But it is a basic democratic right that we all cherish in this country and this state.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And the idea that people in our regional towns can't vote is beyond me. It's
Yeah, absolutely. Connie Benares, SA Best MLC. We have got our breaking at 8:18.
We will do it after the break.
We'll
Let's check traffic. Car battery dead. Call Batteries Direct and they'll come to you anytime with a new affordable battery installed.
G'day there. She's not looking too bad for the run-in today. Got a small bingle getting sorted at Elizabeth South, Phillip Highway near Oldham Road. First Watermain at Theberton. Council works in the same spot too. That's Port Road near Phillip Street, so she's a bit sluggish, as you'd expect. And look out for those works at Paraka, which are also slow too. Montague Road near Henderson Avenue. Cameras this morning, Blacks Road, Gillis Plains, and got one setting up right now, Aldershot Road at Lonsdale. The state election is coming up, and it's a voting centres open all week thing. Make sure you vote by this Saturday, March 21, 6 p.m. Voting. It's a good thing. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Riley O'Brien, welcome.
I have to ask the question, how early in the pre-season were you aware of this shift, the centre bounce rule change and the like, that maybe you wouldn't be in that starting lineup?
I mean, it obviously favours the pure jumpers and the taller guys.
Adelaide's only local sports show.
The speed at which they throw the ball up now instead of bouncing, I struggle with it.
The 5AA Sports Show. Weekday afternoons from 4 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs in California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
If you're thinking of building or renovating your kitchen, there are a lot of choices to make. But the first choice should be Smeg. We have an amazing Smeg showroom right here in Adelaide. Debney Distributors. They're in Dudley Park. And inside, you'll find the full Smeg range on display.
They've got everything: ovens, cooktops, dishwashers, fridges, wine cellars, kettles, toasters. Smeg pairs powerful performance with architectural design. They've even got cooking demonstrations. I did one myself. It was great. You can taste the difference with Smeg. Proudly made in Italy since 1948. Colour, design, tech, world famous. Smeg, it's technology with style. Visit the Smeg showroom today at Debney Distributors, Harrison Road, Dudley Park.
Time to Pixter. Around 70% of serious dental problems start in the gaps between teeth. Pixters clean those gaps like floss, only easier. Keep by your toothbrush and use daily. Have you Pixtered today?
Who wants to go on a holiday? Dreaming of your next getaway? With Travel Auctions, the choice is yours. From powered sites for caravanners to holiday cabins, relaxing cruises and hotel escapes, there's something for everyone. And here's the best part. You bid the price you want to pay. With Travel Auctions, it's as simple as placing your bid, and if you are successful, hello holiday. Travelauctions.com.au or call 1300 656573. No hidden fees, just great deals.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
It's Friday morning. It's time to give you something to follow over the weekend with a little game we like to call Nearest to the Pin. This morning you were playing for a bundle of 5 essential lawn. It's very civil, the old Nearest to the Pin. 5 essential lawn care products to get your lawn from zero to hero. All thanks to the great people at Lawn Hub, professional lawn care and home-friendly sizes. Order in March to win a mower worth nearly $5,000. Lawnhub.com.au. Nearest to the pin this morning. At what time on Saturday night will Ashton Hearn commence her concession speech? At what time will we hear a concession speech on Saturday night? To the minute. You've got to the minute, okay? So 8223 0000 for the Lawn Hub nearest to the pin. We will award on Monday morning. At what time will the concession speech begin?
Well, as we alluded to earlier, our next guest has had a front row seat for what has been absolutely the defining element of this remarkable South Australian election campaign. It's one that's attracted national interest. We should introduce him as long-time listener, first-time campaigner, because for many years, Carlos Caremba has been calling our 5AA Brekkie show as Carlos from the Inman Valley. I only found out a few months ago that Carlos was also the State One Nation president. And it's been very helpful for our coverage because knowing Carlos as well as we do, we've been able to stay in touch with him throughout the course of the campaign. And he joins us now for a late-breaking breaking at 8. Carlos, how are you holding up?
Good, boys, and g'day to your listeners. We're just out at Inman Valley about to get ready to go to the polling booth. I checked on the chickens this morning, got the eggs, and fed Melly the chicken I've got now, which is good.
So, Carlos, you've been working with Pauline Hanson. You only met her late last year. You went over to Canberra and met her. Do you think realistically, your primary vote suggests you're going to get 2 spots. You're number 2 on the ticket, so you would be likely to be elevated along with Corey Bernardi to the upper house. But do you think One Nation can make inroads in the lower house too?
Look, I'm getting a lot of good feedback from candidates. They're all pumped and excited. People are, walking straight past Labor and Liberal and going straight to them saying that's the one I want, or coming out of the polling booth and giving a cheeky grin or a thumbs up. And look, regardless of how we, what succession looks like in this election, we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. And just to clarify something, I've been with the party for nearly 5 years. So I've met Pauline a few times and ran before, but this building phase really has only just taken off after, we had the debacle of Sarah Game leave the party.
Yeah. Hey, Carlos, why didn't you guys put out any costings yesterday?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. The simple fact of the matter is we don't have a whole heap of staffers and people that are paid by the government to come up with these figures. We've got some really good policies, and it's interesting that Melly says that we don't have any policies, and he's got all these tech-savvy people, but haven't introduced them to our website. It's only 2 clicks. You can look it up. It's sa1nation.org.au.
So what's your policy on, say, ramping?
Oh, there's so many things you've got to do. You've got to get all the people that are in hospital out of hospital that shouldn't be there. You've got to build mental health facilities, aged care facilities. You've got to pay them proper money. I mean, there's so many things you've got to address. It's like, where do you start? But we've just got to stop doing what we're doing because we're heading in a really bad direction. And it's interesting because I was looking at Mally's approval rating, and it's quite high. And I kind of draw the conclusion or the similarities between another Labor premier in Dan Andrews, and it didn't work out too good for Victoria.
Yeah, no, he's popular. But his accusation was you don't have any policy. So what's a policy just for South Australia that you've got, just to correct him?
Oh, well, coal-fired power station up in Port Augusta.
But that one's, we interviewed Pauline Hanson on that, and that one's predicated on you changing the national energy market, and for that you'd have to win federal government.
Yep.
So
these are all things that will have to happen.
That's a federal policy then, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Or local government reform. So amalgamation of all the administrations, getting rid of 67 administrations, amalgamating them into 3 administrations, 3 CEOs. It's just really a lot of what we want to do is get rid of the bureaucracy and reduce the size of government, which is the complete opposite of what the Labor Party want to do.
Carlos, in terms of the lower house, my prediction is you'll win at least 2 seats. You might even win 4. Have you had any discussions yet about who would be the leader? I mean, it would have to be someone who was among the people who won seats, or is that something that is sort of wait and see what happens after the results come in tomorrow?
Look, I've said this all along. We don't carve up the spoils until we've actually earned it. there's a lot of good, strong people in the group now. We've got, a couple of small business owners. We've got, electricians that understand exactly how the power system works. We're just average people. I'm a builder, I look at Nick Champion as your housing minister, and I just looked at his portfolio, look at his brief this morning, and he's never actually had a real job other than being a union delegate, and yet he's in charge of housing. And I think, well, maybe we need a builder in charge of housing.
Given all that, Carlos, why is your candidate in Chafee preferencing Labor over the Liberals?
What? Sorry, what's that?
Why is your candidate in Chafee preferencing Labor over the Liberals?
We haven't done any preference deals, mate.
Yeah, but your locals have been filling out their own how-to-vote cards, haven't they?
Sorry?
Your local candidates have been filling out their own how-to-vote cards.
No, there's some issues with volunteers that don't quite understand what's going on. And look, we've addressed all those sort of things. We've worked really well with the Electoral Commission to pick up on all those little bits and pieces. So at the end of the day, we've said it pretty clearly. Vote one for One Nation. Fill the rest out as you please. As far as we're concerned, they're all the same anyway. They are the uni party. We've made it pretty clear.
Well, Carlos, it's been a wild ride. We'll see how it all plays out tomorrow night. And, who knows how long it will take them to count all those votes for the upper house. But
could be a couple of weeks.
Could be a couple of weeks. But the next time you might have to be Carlos from the Inman Valley MLC. The Honourable Carlos from Inman Valley. We'll see how it goes tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us, Carlos.
Thanks, boys.
What a crazy time. So normally you're writing for papers interstate. You sort of feel, do you want anything on the South Australian election? Do you we've got a bit of a hole on page 12. Keep it tight. 400 words will do. Now, every morning for the last 4 weeks, get out of radio. Yeah. There's a missed call from the Australian. What have you got for tomorrow?
Very different world. All right, let's get some people in the running for nearest to the pin for that Lawn Hub pack. Chris in Nova Gardens, what time will the concession speech be on Saturday night?
Well, can it be earlier?
you give us a time, Chris.
Let's make it about 8:23.
8:23 p.m. Thank you, Chris. Sue in Largs North.
9:18.
9:18. Thank you, Sue. Ryan in Glenelg. Good morning.
Howdy, mate. 8:36.
Thank you, Ryan. Kathy, what time do you think?
I reckon 9:15.
9:15. Michael, what time's the concession speech?
7:53.
Thank you, Michael. Sam in Theberton, what time do you think?
Good morning, guys. Well, it's going to be a close one, so it's going to take time to count these. So I say 10:27.
10:27. We hope not. Yuri in Beaumont, what time's the concession speech going to start?
9:43.
9:43. Thank you, Yuri. We'll find out who wins the Lawn Hub
I don't know
on Monday
why.
morning.
Every time you know he's going to say it, but it's never not funny
because he commits to the bit. That's why.
It's so good.
All right, 5AA News Time. Back in a moment.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 27 today with the 8:30 news. Good morning, I'm Jess Adamson.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
An Aldinga Beach man has been arrested after crashing his Toyota Land Cruiser and fleeing the scene. Police were called to the intersection of Main South Road and Malpas Road at 4 this morning, where they found the rolled vehicle in a ditch. The driver wasn't with it. He was found a short time later hiding in the front yard of a nearby home. He's been charged with traffic offences, with investigations continuing. Cyclone Narelle is just hours away from making landfall in far north Queensland, with locals already feeling the power of the storm. The system was downgraded to a Category 4 earlier this morning, with residents in the Cape York Peninsula told to take shelter. Senior forecaster Abrar Shabran says destructive winds are having an impact.
So we'll expect the very destructive core of Narelle with gusts in excess of around 250 kilometres per hour is now starting to impact the coast and will extend inland towards Cowan as the morning progresses.
The Federal Treasurer believes voters are ready for hard decisions which will form a central part of the May budget. Jim Chalmers has used a speech to claim the economy will struggle for the rest of the decade without major reforms. Dr Chalmers has signalled a tax reform package which would include an overhaul of business taxes. Doctors have intensified their opposition to prescribing powers for pharmacists, releasing a long list of blunders. Gabrielle Hodson has more.
The Royal Australian College of GPs has released a dossier to healthcare watchdog Safer Care Victoria outlining 62 alleged prescribing blunders made by pharmacists. SMH The Age says in one case antibiotics were prescribed to treat a suspected urinary tract infection, which turned out to be cancer. In other cases, patients were given medication for migraines, which were in fact preeclampsia and brain tumours. The Pharmaceutical Guild says members have extra training before doing any prescribing, but doctors have also criticised a move to allow pharmacies to initiate the pill, which they fear will lead to unplanned pregnancies because it's only 92% effective.
Transport companies are warning freight costs are about to spike as the effects of the Iran conflict flow through to more parts of the economy. Daniel Bleakley is the co-founder of a company focusing electric trucks and other sustainable solutions and says the industry has been hit hard and fast.
Over the last few days, the terminal gate diesel price, which is the price that a lot of large trucking companies work off, that's actually doubled, or almost doubled. So we're going to see freight costs increase on the order of 20 to 30% in the coming weeks.
European leaders and Japan say they're ready to help unblock the Strait of Hormuz. In a joint statement, the leaders condemned Iran for its attacks on commercial shipping vessels and civilian energy facilities. They didn't provide details about what efforts to unblock the strait would include. Donald Trump has referenced Pearl Harbor while sitting next to the Japanese Prime Minister in the Oval Office during an update on the war.
I don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Tom, a huge night at Adelaide Oval tonight.
It's going to be massive, isn't it, Jess? Cannot wait for this one. The Crows have made one change for that blockbuster clash against the Bulldogs at home. Toby Murray has been managed and he makes way for Isaac Rankin, who returns from suspension. The Power, meantime, have named only a squad for their match against Essendon on Sunday. Ollie Lord has been dropped, though. And there was one game last night to get the round underway. Hawthorn trailing at every change before booting 5-1 in the final term. They beat Sydney by 17 points. Veteran Jack Gunston again outstanding with 4 goals. Well, a good morning for the English clubs in the Europa League. Aston Villa moving through to the quarterfinals after a 2-0 win against French side Lille in their knockout tie. The first goal of the game coming early in the second half.
The clearance is long, the clearance is excellent, and it's collected by Jadon Sancho, and Sancho tees it up, and John McGinn scores! From one end of the field to the other, it's Route 1 par excellence!
It was a great goal, audio thanks to Stan Sport. Villa won 3-0 on aggregate, while Nottingham Forest had a much tougher fight. They drew 2-2 on aggregate with Danish side FC Midtjylland before advancing on penalties. To tennis now, Alexei Poprin's frustrating start to 2026 is continued after being beaten in the first round of the Miami Open by Croatian veteran Marin Cilic. Fellow Aussie Kim Birrell also just lost her match against American Ann Lee in a tight 3-setter. James Duckworth also lost, but there was one winner, Talia Gibson, moving through. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Let's check the traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Morning there, a Dry Creek, a breakdown on the north-south motorway Globe Derby Drive. Elizabeth South, a crash, Phillip Highway near Oldham Road. And Theberton, Burst Watermain Port Road near Phillip Street. Urgent cancer works there too, so that is pretty slow this morning. Pretty busy this morning. South Road, Mile End with a camera right now. Aldershot Road at Lonsdale. Tired of waking up tired? Good news. Harvey Norman bedding floor stock clearance is on now. Big brand mattresses and adjustable bases priced to clear. Don't wait. Get into Harvey Norman today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Mostly sunny and 27 today. Sunny and 27 at the polling booths tomorrow. 29 for Sunday. Sunny and 30 for Monday. Right now it's 19 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Car battery nearly dead? Or left you stranded? Call Batteries Direct and they'll come to you now. Call 1300 55 8174. For affordable, on-the-spot battery replacement, call Batteries Direct. 1300 55 8174.
The company you keep keeps unpacking sport and entertainment's untold stories and keeps you part of rugby leagues in a huddle. Keep good company with the Backstage podcast.
Stop buying junk Snap-on products from hardware shops. Real professionals treat their lawn with a multi-step process, not a bottle of whatever's on special. Lawn Hub's Lawn Care Essentials Pack is pro-grade lawn care in home-friendly sizes. 5 treatments, an application calendar, all delivered to your door. Transform your lawn from zero to hero in 4 easy steps. Order in March and you're in the draw to win an Allet cylinder mower valued at nearly $5,000. Lawnhub.com.au. I grow mine with Lawn Hub.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot. Business too small to be noticed by those global car rental companies? Well, you can rely on Red Spot to look after you. We love renting to small businesses because we used to be one. We're the only Aussie family-owned car rental company in airport terminals and cities across Australia. And right now, Red Spot is giving you spot-on savings of 15% off every vehicle at every location. Book direct and save at redspot.com.au/radio. T's and C's apply. Red Spot.
Sold by McGain again.
Absolutely. We love McGain. As we all know, there are limited homes available, so you've got to get along to these opens.
How about this? If you've had your democracy sausage and you're looking for a way to have fun, tomorrow from 2:30 to 3, the best in the biz, Zoe Ball and big, bad, bustling Baz Rambo are going to sell the gizzards out of 8A Gilbert Street Nord. Just a short walk to the parade, minutes to the CBD. This double-storey home features 2 living zones, a well-appointed kitchen and an outdoors area complete with undercover entertaining. This is a cracking spot. Secure parking, great storage and space for the whole family. This is city fringe living at its best, 1.25 to 1.35 mil.
And then what about this coming soon to the market? 275A Lower Esplanade, Aldinga Beach.
Oh.
God's country. Should ask for a discount. You'll be living near me. This rare coastal opportunity sits opposite a sand dune reserve, just steps from Aldinga Beach. The expansive 7-bedroom home on 952 square metres offers dual living flexibility, ocean views, multiple living zones, strong income potential, ideal for families seeking space, lifestyle and versatility in a tightly held seaside location. Contact David Hamsey for more information.
Just use the code word David's neighbour. Take a look at the properties and all the McGain listings at mcgain.com.au.
Go Harvey Norman bedding floor stock clearance on now. Huge range of selected mattresses and adjustable bases priced to clear, including big brands Sealy Posturepedic, King Coil by AH Beard, Sleepmaker, Beauty Rest and Temper. Prices slashed on beds, bedroom furniture, kids furniture and bunks. Plus pillows, quilt covers, cushions and throws, all priced to clear. Don't miss more huge floor stock savings in store while stocks last. Best brands, best range, best prices. Harvey Norman bedding floor stock clearance on now. Conditions apply.
This state election, it's a voting centres open all week thing. Saturday, March 14 to 21. And you can vote until 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21. Voting, it's a good thing. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner, Adelaide, South Australia.
There's Fast. And then there's Nitro. This March, the ground will shake, the flames will rise as the fastest machines on the planet go all out at Riverbend Nationals. 2 days, full nitro, full send. See top fuel nitro funny cars, top door slammers, plus free family entertainment and non-stop action on and off the track. Dragway at the Bend, March 28 and 29. Don't just see it, feel it. Get your tickets now at thebend.com.au.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
19 to 9, get calling now for Feedback Friday. 8223 0000 is the number. 3 spots available, 3 individual prizes this morning. Have a listen to this. The Smeg Appliance, building or renovating, your first choice will be visiting the Smeg showroom at Devoney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg. We've got tickets to see Cluedo the play on the 31st of March. It opens this weekend at Her Majesty's Theatre. It's only on for 2 weeks. This show sounds like a lot of fun. Cluedo the play. So we've got 2 tickets to that giveaway. And we're going to send someone else off to the movies. So
Brilliant.
if you'd like to call in and win a prize, basically, and answer 4 simple questions with the no wrong answers, Feedback Friday. Call in right now on 8223 0000.
Terry's having a does not compute moment. He says, good grief, the editor of The Advertiser reckons Mally deserves 4 more years. Everyone likes me. See, you wake up every morning looking for a good Murdoch conspiracy and you don't find one every day, do you?
Yeah, I know. My favourite...
Love you, Terry.
People that believe in conspiracies always have that one sort of refrain when they find evidence that runs counter to that, where they say, yeah, but they would do that to throw us off the scent. You know?
There's been a bit of mixed and varied history.
The editorials.
The Daily Telegraph backed Paul Keating in 93. I think most of the papers, embarrassingly, thought in 2007 that Kevin Rudd seemed like a well-adjusted guy.
What do you think?
Proving that you can't believe everything you read.
Is the editorial a bit quaint these days?
Yeah. Well, I think the logic behind it, some people regard it as an impertinence that a paper should ever say anything about what it thinks. The logic, particularly in a society that has compulsory voting, is that everybody has to make up their minds, and the newspaper, being a sort of entity, thinks, well, if they have to make up their minds, we should look at the political landscape and make a sort of best interests of the state argument, but always with the, caveat that it's not up to us, it's up to you. But yeah, I think the editorial, as it was known in antiquity, the leading article, the leader, the person who writes the editorials at the paper is called the leader writer. I think, it was a different era when the media space wasn't as fragmented as it is now, where you got podcasts and people setting up their
shingle. Social media, every human being alive pretty much posts what they're going to do on election day now.
Yeah, totally.
There's lots of editorialising going on.
Everyone's editorialising.
Exactly.
Feedback. Friday today, so have you say feedback.
16 to 9. Let's get into the Feedback Friday questions. John in Ascot Park, first cab off the rank. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Yeah, we're good, John.
Thanks, John.
All right. John, what do you think Cole Sandilands' next big move is going to be?
Out of Australia, hopefully.
Thank you, John.
Oh, brilliant.
How many seats is One Nation going to win this weekend, John?
Well, it's hard to say, isn't it?
It's almost impossible to say. Yeah, have a stab.
I like that, John. I reckon you might be right.
Are you stockpiling fuel at your place, John?
No, I'm not actually. I haven't really joined the bandwagon. I was thinking about toilet paper because no one else wants that at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Buy the dip.
Exactly.
Hey, John, Isaac Rankin returns for the Crows tonight. How many goals do you think he kicks?
Depends on his hamstring. Maybe 3.
Yeah, 3 would be nice. 3 would be probably a good night for Adelaide. Good on you, John. That was nice, concise and excellent. Paul in Evanston Gardens, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Have you ever gone kayaking, Paul?
No, mate. No, far too energetic for me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a good form of exercise. You can do it while you're sitting down.
You can do it while you're sitting down, but when you roll over and you have to swim, that's where I would fall over.
Yeah, fair enough.
Metaphorically.
I think in the end, almost half of all eligible voters will have voted before tomorrow. Paul, are you one of them?
No, I'm not. I'm working on one of the booths tomorrow afternoon, so I'll vote before or after one of those.
Oh, really?
Can we ask handing out cards or as a AEC person?
Handing out cards.
Okay.
Yeah, good on you.
Do you get to have a democracy sausage at a booth if you're handing out the cards?
But I'm in Gawler. I can't tell you that I've ever been to a polling booth that's had one. I think I heard rumours of one in Gawler East once, but it's not a thing up here.
What seat is that now, Paul? That's changed, hasn't it?
We're still in Light. Yeah.
Okay.
So formerly Tony Piccolo.
Oh, so you've got no incumbent now, haven't you? Because he's running in the new seat.
He is indeed. And we have a new incumbent Labor person.
Paul, just lastly, do you think public transport should be free whilst we're in the midst of this fuel crisis?
It's actually something I thought about the other day. I think it should be. And look, if it does what public transport's meant to do, which is get people off the roads and save them some cash and get them there, on time 95% of the time, I think we should probably look at making it free all the time. My understanding is that the costs we get back from the fees only cover about 10% of the actual cost of the run. So why not?
Yeah. Paul, thank you. I don't know if this is very unscientific and quite anecdotal, but going for a run yesterday, and I don't know if I was looking for it, so I started noticing it, but I've never seen so many people at bus stops during the middle of the day. All the ones I went past had people sitting there waiting, and they generally are totally empty. So there's...
Do you wear a Walkman when you go for a run, Will? Do you have a motivational...
A Walkman?
A music machine?
You mean a phone?
What's your go-to track to get you up and about for your workout?
No, I listen to podcasts. I don't listen to...
Let's Get Physical by ONJ.
I hate listening to music when I run, actually.
Really?
Let's go to Blackwood. John, good morning.
Podcast from The Economist.
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Friday.
You too, John.
John, do you like sausages?
I love sausages.
Good man. You going to get a democracy sausage tomorrow?
I don't think I'm near one of the booths, but I go the chicken and pine nut with a little bit of sage or whatever they
spinach or something.
It's democracy at work. How you have your sausages is your business.
Oil.
Do you think more petrol stations should go to prepay only?
Well, I do the Yugo and prepay. It's the only way to go as far as just saving time and obviously saving the drive-offs, which the Commissioner was talking about earlier this week. So, prepay is the way to go.
Yeah, you're ahead of the curve.
Well, exactly. I'll do a fuel report very shortly.
We were going to ask whether you think we'll see Anthony Albanese in the next 24 hours, but we've announced just a moment ago that he's going to be in town. Do you think Anthony Albanese will help or hinder the Premier, John?
Absolutely hindered. Some of your observations earlier in the week, Labor was sort of flying, but just with the war in Iran and just the cost of living, fuel movements, etc., it's done them no favours. So it actually brings other parties back into the mix. So give Albo a wide berth, Pete can do it by himself.
And just lastly, John, we've got potential for two premierships or title-winning teams in South Australia over the next week, the 36ers and our cricket team, who, frankly, for mine, will always be the Redbacks. John, do we win any titles in the next week here in Adelaide?
I'd love to say yes. Let's go the 36ers. Bryce Cotton, the three-pointer walk-off in the last game at the end of the third quarter. Just magic.
Giving me goosebumps.
So
that'd be something. John, that was magnificent. We had three very articulate and excellent contributors for Feedback Friday, and we've got three excellent individual prizes this morning.
Hard to split them. What's the main prize again?
Well, there's three. They're all equal prizes, obviously, David, because we love them all.
That's right.
But we've got the Smeg appliance, we've got the Wallace Cinemas, we've got the Cluedo double pass.
Let's give the appliance to John in Ascot Park. The the other team.
So I'm just laughing at Scott's text. Sorry, keep going.
I'm so distracted by the text. Paul can have the Cluedo tickets.
Yes.
And John in Blackwood can have the
Wallace Cinema Pass.
Wallace Cinema Pass.
Scott in the text line says, so Will, what's your favourite 8-track tape for long drives in the car? Thank you, Scott. That distracted me and made me laugh.
We just got about 10 hilarious texts in a row. Like Rob, when it comes to sausages, don't ask, don't tell. Then this one, boys, the fuel crisis has been averted after Australia found unlimited deposits of oil on Domino's Mega Meat Lovers range. Then this one, Kyle Sandlands will be the next ambassador for Light and Easy. That's from Richard. And Phil in Andy Beach might be onto something. He says, I wonder when Koshy retires and Mally quits politics, who'll become the next Port CEO?
Oh,
that's a good theory.
I like that. Hey, speaking of pizza, David, we're going to be powered by pizza tomorrow night for our election coverage, all thanks to a great pizza place here in South Australia, Marcelina's, who's been...
Oh, Marcelina's. I've been here since the dawn of time. I hear the word Marcelina's, I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm at a share house.
I love
guys
Marcelina's is awesome.
Are really, really hungry.
I'm so excited about this. I was already excited about the election coverage, obviously, but Marcelina's on board for the... So if you want to be like us, charge your glass and order a Marcelina's tomorrow night and listen to the election coverage.
Well, you know what's really good? We've got an excellent bottle of Grenache from our great mates, Sam and Jamie at Powell's Liquor. That's only one of... It's going to be like a vertical tasting. We've got a big Italian monster red as well. But the Grenache with the pizza, that'll go
perfect.
well.
All right, let's check traffic. Car battery dead? Call Batteries Direct. They'll come to you anytime with a new affordable battery install.
G'day there. Breakdown at Dry Creek to look out for at the moment. It's on the north-south motorway to Globe Derby Drive, but no great delays. Also a smash getting sorted at Elizabeth South. No delays there either, which is good. Phillip Highway near Oldham Road. Adibus, what am I to look out for today at Theberton? Port Road near Phillip Streets. Getting busy South Road, Marlene. Getting slow Main North Road at Enfield with a camera right now. Aldershot Road at Lonsdale. Harris Scarf Friends exclusive great brand sale is on now. Save 50% off full price quilts by Gainsborough. Exclusions apply. See conditions online. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Discover the refreshed Volvo XC60 at Volvo Cars Adelaide. This mid-size plug-in hybrid SUV delivers effortless Scandinavian luxury on every drive. And this month, simply test drive the XC60 and you'll go into the draw to win an unforgettable experience at Minato Safari Park. Smarter, safer, designed around you. Experience the refreshed Volvo XC60 today at Volvo Cars Adelaide. Book your test drive at volvocarsadelaide.com.au.
RDNS is now called Silver Chain, but that's all that's changing. There's still the same friendly faces, same in-home health and aged care you trust, and same not-for-profit values. Because some things will never change at Silver Chain.
Life is busy, but your loved one's safety is priceless. With Care Alert's personal alert system, you can relax knowing they're supported anytime, anywhere. With features like two-way talking, fall detection and GPS tracking, make life stress-free for you and your family. Call 1300 75 85 95 or go to carealert.com.au for a Care Alert personal alert system today. Because caring never takes a break.
4 days of deals at BWS. Get a 16-pack of Stone and Wood Pacific Ale cans for $62. Save 7. Hurry, offer ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
One of the best things about South Australia is there's so much of it. Fortunately, getting a parcel from one side to the other is easy with Stateliner. Sure, Stateliner have a fleet of modern, comfortable buses, but they'll also carry freight across the state for you. Affordable rates and your parcel goes on the next available bus. From the city to Port Pirie, Whyalla and Port Augusta, Ceduna and Port Lincoln, the Riverland, Mount Gambier and many towns in between. Get your parcel moving quickly. Put it on the Stateliner bus.
Here is an important message from your engine.
It's time I put my foot down. If you want me to perform at my best, remember to add Flash Lube to our tank every time you fill up. We'll get greater fuel economy and a cleaner fuel system. Best of all, it'll keep me feeling young, so I can really take you places.
Flash Lube, available from your auto store and leading petrol stations. Remember to add Flash Lube fuel additives when you next fill up, and your engine will love you for it.
The state election is coming up and it's a voting centres are open all week thing until 6 p.m. Saturday. Voting, it's a good thing.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
5 minutes to 9, Fuel Watch. It's better to be a member with RAA Road Service. Petrol this morning, it's never going to be good news. I should stop using that tone. The cheapest spots are the Ampolo, Hella and Hill, $2.23.9, but generally the average for unleaded, $2.39.9. That's been pretty steady in the last 24 hours. Diesel is where we're seeing some grim things. The Liberty at Port Adelaide, $2.75.5 is your best bet. Some servos over $2.90. We've had pictures of some in country areas over $3 this morning.
Sure.
Who wins the meat tray, David?
Let's give it to our good mate Sally from Hillcrest. I liked hers. That was good.
Thanks to Najobi, they've been a big part of our election build-up. You can have their sausages tomorrow on Barbie's right across Adelaide, the original and best 5AA breakfast democracy sausage.
It's been 1 week. The top 5 of the week.
Here we go, top 5.
I bought a flask of hot water with those Savoys in there, some bread rolls, and if anybody sees me, I'll give you a good price for those.
Savoy water.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had...
I wonder if that's ever going to be something that influencers start promoting.
It's entirely possible. And
the Savoy water diet.
In the number 4 spot.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. Long-time caller, first-time listener.
Yep, that was excellent. Thank you. Number 3 spot.
I'm so stupid. I did mine on my laptop at home, and I never bring my laptop to work. So I'm trying to do it from memory on my run sheet. I think I've got it.
This is the kind of thing you say, and then it comes Monday morning, and you've got every single one right. I've seen this routine before.
No.
Look, after Will's rap of you, David, I might get you to mark my best bets tomorrow for Rose Hill on Saturday.
He just has this uncanny ability, Bruce.
No, not with horses. I can do elections, but I can't do horses.
No, you're the expert on horses, Bruce. The legend of Australian sport, Bruce Bagavati, endorsing David's powers of prediction.
No, you're going to be righter than me.
We'll find out tomorrow. Well, maybe we will. We'll know a bit tomorrow. Number 2 spot.
Probably the most famous saxophone solo is in Station to Station. Jerry Rafferty. That. Oh, yeah. Really, really famous bit of music. Terrific bit of music. That one. How did the producers know I was going to say that?
They're just crack hot. You know when sometimes...
How did you know?
You know when batsmen sometimes in cricket, they say they're seeing it like a watermelon? That's our producing team at the moment.
That's just, like ESP.
Yeah, they know.
That wasn't planned.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't plan things with me, given that I get in 6 minutes past 6.
That's our producers putting themselves in the number 2 spot for the top 5 moments of the week. You know,
that was a great moment.
You got to run
I don't know how it happened.
You got to do your own publicity sometimes. And the number 1 spot.
It's a given thing.
I was really hoping we were going to play Xanadu then. I love that song.
Oh no, I can't do Xanadu.
Oh mate, seriously, it is such a good song.
Yeah.
That end bit was like, now that I'm near, now that you're here. In Xanadu.
Yeah, that's what
Doesn't that just get you going?
That's where we depart. You did a lot of singing at one point during the week. It's been a long campaign, hasn't it? But it all comes to an end tomorrow. Good luck. Vote early and eat sausage is our saying here at 5AA Breakfast. Thanks to Najobi. We'll catch you tomorrow night from 6:20. See you then.